There is intrigue in King Chauncey's court. HEI has made increasingly bold assertions of their legal right to control the kingdom as part of Chauncey's contract with the company. And while it's difficult to determine just how hard they might push in the coming days, there are signs that they're very serious about their desires to establish a foothold in Helgervanger. One of those signs is the growing calls for a revolution spearheaded by the tiny kingdom's former monarch, Ronald. At first, this revolt seemed like nothing more than a few yard signs and temper tantrums from the deposed king, but then unknown, unnamed security forces posted up around Ronald's manor, and he started spending more and more money on an elaborate campaign to recruit his former subjects to his cause. One starts to question just where these resources are coming from. Who is backing this disgraced regent? Is HEI fomenting a coup to install someone they believe they can more readily control? But in the background of all this is another plot, a much older plot. The case of the abandoned Swiftwind's Trading Company laboratory in the woods, north of the tiny kingdom. King Chauncey and his companions discovered Swiftwinds had long ago been doing something mysterious and undoubtedly dangerous in the woods, something they put a lot of effort into covering up when they bailed on their project. Something that still haunts the kingdom today. While investigating this abandoned facility, the heroes discovered only ruins and an old recording device that gave him a name, Killian Cray. Unable to put these old mysteries out of his mind, King Chauncey has gathered the four of you to him. Certain he can trust you to be discreet. He's asked you to meet with Myrtella the Woods Witch and see if she will commune with supernatural forces to seek out Killian Cray, find out what Swiftwind's Trading Company was up to in his kingdom, and perhaps uncover a way to force HEI to back off in the process, as you've discovered hints that they were also involved. Thus far, you've agreed to help, and so you now stand gathered outside the tilted iron fence surrounding Myrtella's tilted house. What do you do?
Well, Peeper.
Hi.
Flotsam.
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 Moondust, do you have candy?
Yes.
I just pop out from Diana's.
Moondust, do you have candy appropriate for meeting new people?
Oh, yes. And I learned about this new candy, and it grows on this black, leafy, viney thing, and it's got this red little center thing in it. But I just can't remember what the name of it was.
What do you mean you can't remember?
It's called Red Widow.
Yeah! He did it! It's called Red Widow, and it's really exciting, although you're not supposed to eat it unless you want funny things to happen to you. Anyway, and she throws candy at you.
Flotsam will just catch as much.
I would imagine that's just sort of a flourish that you put on the end of all your statements. You're just talking to somebody and you're like, and candy.
Pocket candy.
Yes.
This is my very best friend because there's candy involved.
I know.
I learned that.
She's my very best friend, too.
That's candy. What about you?
Oh, I have this dog. And he looks down at Ajax.
Also, my very best friend.
Candy?
I don't carry candy. A Werther's original hits me in the face.
Well, you've been spending a lot of time in Helgervanger and with Moondust, so I would imagine that you probably are always carrying candy, but it's one of those things where every time you reach into a pocket, you just find some more candy. But it's usually because you didn't know it was there, so it's some melted chocolates that's sticky on the inside.
It's either
just
I didn't
really
know it was there,
annoying,
or she just keeps throwing candy at me,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I can't eat this, and so I just put it in the pocket, and I'm like, so I will hand you a melted glob of candy that is reformed over time.
I don't try and sift through and find that one fake strawberry thing that's wrapped with the. Okay, now that friendships are sorted, we have to go talk to the Lady Witch
Right.
about the other guy. I'll be honest, I wasn't listening very well.
Killian.
Yes, that's the man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we really need your guys' help because we've tried to go up against this thing. It's called a ghost mob.
Meh.
A ghost mob.
Horse. It's a horse.
No, it's a ma.
No, it's a meh.
Ma.
It's a ghost mob.
It's a ghost meh.
Ghost meh.
M-A-R-E.
Yeah, and that's how you pronounce ma.
Ma.
Meh.
Meh.
Are we all making fun of Hawk?
What? No, it's really called a ghost ma.
Oh, okay. And why are we doing this? And does AGI know?
Oh, well, not
Well-
so sure if HEI knows, but I will tell you that I know a lot about unicorns, and this ghost ma is actually like this really kind of scary thing that could potentially be part unicorn, and I'm just really nervous because I love unicorns. I was raised by unicorns, so I obviously want to make sure that we can go find it and hopefully make it feel better and be back to its normal happy unicorn self.
So we're saving a unicorn?
Well, we're trying to investigate what is happening with former King Ronald, because he seems to have done a coup type thing, and we want to talk to Killian about what's happened with Swiftwinds and if there's any connection to Swiftwinds or heroic endeavors coming over and trying to instill a king of their own that they can control a little better, because I don't know if you've ever tried to control Chauncey in any way at all whatsoever, but he's ornery is what I would say. He's
I
pretty
would
ornery.
say that he's pretty wonderful and delightful and nice and my very best friend.
So ornery. But yeah, so the mission is talk to the witch, see if she can commune. I don't know, magic. I think you understand magic more than me.
Okay.
But like talk to the dead,
So-
or
With magic?
I don't know.
With the
Again,
dead?
I don't understand.
But the dead usually don't talk to you.
Well, they they don't usually talk to me.
So how do you know?
No, the witch does
Oh,
it.
the witch is dead.
But the witch is alive.
No, the witch is hiding them all.
And the witch is actually really nice. And this is the one that has this plant that I was telling you about that we shouldn't eat because it makes you feel really funny.
But why is the house crooked?
It's
That is a
tilted.
great question. I don't know. I brought it up the last time. She just kind of shirked me in terms of a response. What I do remember is someone said there was magic. I don't know if the fence was magic or if the whole area is magic because a witch lives here, but we may want to just yell for the witch, or if someone can do like, I guess I could throw a rock at the door.
Oh
to
no,
knock.
don't throw rocks. I learned that from a very young age that it's very not nice to throw rocks at things.
But, sometimes I throw rocks at people.
Well, what if I just knock on the door?
Well, you got to get through the gate first, and remember the gate might be magical.
I'll go.
Wait, is this witch nice?
She's very nice.
I think she's a good witch, but she might be a bad witch. I don't know. Chauncey liked her, so again, no real knowledge.
Which
Gleaned.
also means that she can absolutely be trusted if she's a friend of Chauncey's.
But we should take some caution.
Yeah. So were you going to fly over
Oh,
the
yes.
magical gate and try and knock? Mm-hmm. All right.
And I'm gonna fly just straight on over to the little window and just go.
Okay. As you first get to the porch, the door to the cottage actually starts to creak open.
Ooh.
But it only gets like halfway. You just see darkness beyond.
Excuse me. Hello?
Come in.
She's here, guys. She says, come in, come on, let's go.
Does she sound nice or does she sound mean?
Oh, hang on, I'll ask. Excuse me. Are you nice or are you mean?
Well, I suppose that all depends on whether you're nice
Oh,
or you're mean.
we're very, very nice.
Moon dust.
Glitter by the sparkle wishes, yes.
Who else is with you?
Oh, my very best friends. There's Hawk, and there's Flotsam, and there's Peepa, and I live with Peepa.
Did you bring the king by any chance?
Unfortunately, he couldn't be here today because of other, what did he say, engagements?
Ma!
He sent a note. It smells like what he uses for cologne.
Oh, yes. Bring that in.
Oh, okay, let's go.
And so I will hesitatingly open, touch the gate.
Opens.
Yeah,
Nothing
but I'm like, oh. So then I go in, and I hand, as the hand of the king.
You're the hand of the king?
I didn't even try.
Wow.
That's cheese.
My best friend's a hand.
maybe I'm only on the face of the. Anyway, I pull out this letter, and again, it smells like his cologne.
She takes it and she just sort of very quickly tucks it into her bodice, and then she looks at you two. She says, "You, I recognize. You, I do not."
Hi, I'm Peepa.
Wonderful.
Sorry, go ahead.
Flotsam! And I do that real awkward curtsy bow thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. And she'll curtsy too, like we're supposed to curtsy.
And then I like reach in my pocket and candy!
Oh no, I'm quite all right.
No, I don't. Hey, what if they don't take the candy?
She might be diabetic.
That's okay.
So
Sometimes I found that when I give people candy, they don't want it. So I just think about in my head, what if they do want it, but they're just saying they don't want it to be polite?
So shove it in her face.
No.
No?
But, Peepa,
Yeah.
look over there. Points to the garden, to the little black leaves with the little red veins going through. That's the Red Widow thing. Don't touch it.
Oh, but they're friends. They're my friends.
Well, ask what it is then.
Well, she sees you pointing over there and says, "Oh, do you partake?"
In candy? Yeah.
I don't. Oh God. I don't have it in a candied form, but I do make a delightful tea.
Oh,
Perhaps later, though. For now, I believe it's business.
I don't want to hurt the plant.
I don't like dirty water.
Ah. Well, okay then. No tea for you.
close. So close.
Why is it you've come to see me today?
We need information on a man named Killian, and Chauncey pointed to you because there seems to be just like a little bit of a coup happening in, the kingdom.
Yes.
And there's a man named Killian who might have the answers we need.
So you're looking for them still, aren't you?
Yeah, remember? People with the building that spontaneously caught fire?
And the ghost ma.
Yes, I've heard that is still roaming about.
I
No
don't
sightings.
like the way you looked at me when you said that. I don't even know what it is yet.
I don't either.
Well, there are ways we can find someone, but I will require your assistance if you wouldn't mind coming in.
Oh,
She just disappears into the shadow beyond her doorway.
Can we use some light?
Yeah. I throw dancing lights.
Okay.
But
The
mostly
inside is lit
right
up.
around Peepa though. So Peepa's
Yeah.
like a little Christmas.
Peepa is glowing.
She's a Christmas tree with me on her shoulder.
So you head into this simple hut, really. You see there's full of odds and ends. Why don't both of you make an occultism check? You guys have already seen sort of what's inside, but you go in there and there's dried herbs hanging from the ceiling.
Oh,
and
my friends.
shelves full of jars with bugs and parts of animals and bones.
Oh,
Your point?
27.
27. You get a very distinct feeling about all of this. It's she's obviously very well acquainted with occult magic and practices, and they keep calling her a witch, and it's very likely she truly is one. Though you don't really get a sense for what kind of patron she might serve just from looking around. Though you do see that that now crawling At first you thought that it was something moving in her hair, but crawling up out of the shoulder of her shirt is this scorpion that crawls up the side of her face and perches on top of her head.
Oh.
And when it sees you looking at it, it sort of snaps its little pinchers at you.
Oh. Is that your pet?
Oh, in a manner of speaking, yes.
Oh, what's his name?
I can't tell you that, I'm afraid.
Don't worry, Peepa.
He doesn't trust you.
He
Not
likes
yet.
candy. Oh, give him candy, because
Okay.
he was reaching out.
No more candy.
Aw.
Last time he was very sick.
Oh no. Okay. I don't want to make him sick.
but he likes candy. Okay, you should sneak it later. Okay. This is a very interesting home that you have. Yeah. Where are we going?
We're already here.
Oh,
This Killian Cray, do you have anything that might connect you to him? It would make things a little easier.
We have this broken thing that somehow his voice came out of, or words about him, and I hand over like this recording device, the pieces that we had.
A weaker connection, but better than not one.
We also have this piece of paper that just randomly said Swiftwinds on it. I don't know if he
Perhaps a
touched it.
connection. Maybe. She holds out her hand for the objects.
I hand them over.
She sort of goes over and she puts them on this table, and then on that very table there's this sort of lump that is covered in a black cloth that she sweeps aside, and you see it's this big crystal clear, it's a crystal. It's like a crystal formation, but it's absolutely clear, flawless. At first you think it might just be glass, but she says, if you don't mind, since our connection to this Killian is weak, I'll require some assistance in finding information about him. And she gathers you around the table, and she reaches out her hands to either side. Everyone join hands.
we got to do like a holding hands thing. I'm pretending. Okay.
And she starts to focus, and she begins to cast a spell. Anybody who wants can make an occultism check.
Instead of that, could I read her aura?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Mechanically, just let me know what I need to.
So basically, I stare at her for a minute without blinking.
Yeah.
I gain her apparent attitude towards us in general, and then it's a occultism check, a secret occultism check against the target's deception DC, and if it's higher, then I find out if they're lying or being deceptive in some way.
You get. She has a very strange. You get a very strange sense from her, but she seems to be friendly towards you all. Like she seems to have good intentions, and you have a strong feeling about that. Like you feel very certain about this. She is genuinely interested, at least in whatever it is you're doing. She's quite interested in being helpful. Did anybody want to make an occultism check?
Ooh, 28.
28. You can tell she is attempting to reach out. She's attempting a scrying spell. And she is focused on the target of this, and she is going on and on and on. And that crystal in the middle of the table that begins to fill almost like with a smoke, that there's a moment where you think you can like see a figure walking in that smoke or that fog, but then it all just disappears, and all the fog seems to drain out of the bottom of it.
That's because we need to hold
and she
hands
releases
again.
your hands, and she says,
Or we hold them again.
"You can hold
We
hands."
hold
again.
hands again.
Yes! I let go too early.
But she.
Was that payoff worth it?
She says, "No, it's not working. He's actually
Dead?
he must be protecting himself in some way. He must not want to be found.
Is there a way to go into his mind and talk to him?
No, he is protecting himself, but that doesn't mean there isn't another way to find information.
Okay.
There is another ritual we can perform, but it will require a deeper level of participation, and there is some risk involved. The people who can help us, who I intend to contact, sometimes have rough dealings with others."
Is it a guy named Felcotha? Because I've already defeated him as a part of a group effort.
I know of no Felcatha.
All right, well then, as long as it's not that guy, he was not very fun. Very aggressive.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not good.
No.
She begins to gather other reagents, laying them on the table, several candles, she lights them. There's a sort of sickly sweet smelling incense in the air pretty soon. She actually sets her scorpion on the table, who begins to do this like weird little dance around the crystal.
Oh, that's cute.
And she says, okay, we'll have to begin. And once we begin, we will not be able to stop until it's complete, no matter what happens.
Are we going to be sweating?
Should I pee now?
Yes, go to, hold on everyone. Yes, go to the bathroom.
I'll be back.
Okay.
So, while he's gone, each of you will have to focus your intentions on this ritual. We are reaching into a very dangerous realm and contacting some very unorthodox individuals.
Oh.
Is this
Payoff.
the payoff's good?
No, the payoff is always good, yes.
Now, with the people that we're going to be connecting with, like, are they going to possess us?
No, we will just be speaking with them, but they may want something from their services.
I'm sure Flotsam can provide,
Like candy.
or candy.
Are they going to hurt us?
Almost certainly not.
Okay, great.
Almost.
We
Try
follow
it.
the rules.
Rules.
Flotsam will provide what?
A present. We have to give presents to some people.
Oh, okay.
Just be prepared to give them something.
I get ready to sit back down in the circle, and I like shield myself to the witch, and I like open my vest, and I point to the inside of my vest, and there's like 5 of these leaves of the Black Widow or the Red Widow.
All right.
And I just wink at Munda.
So what Myrtella why can't I think of a word? What Myrtella is suggesting is a ritual casting. Now, ritual spells are special spells that typically you cast them over an extended period of time. They require a primary caster. In this case, Myrtella will serve as a primary caster, but you all will serve as secondary casters.
Okay.
Okay?
Except for you.
Anybody can participate in a ritual. You don't have to be a spellcaster or have any connection to magic. You are just there as, you support the ritual in some way. For this particular ritual, you can use any of the following skills. You choose which one you want to go for. You can use religion,
Okay.
occultism,
Okay.
arcana, or
Okay.
performance, as there appears to be some sort of dancing aspect to this
I'm
particular
gonna be
ritual.
perfect for this.
Indeed.
What about unicorn lore?
That is not part of this particular ritual. As he's reaching into a space beyond this plane that does not involve unicorns. Now, as secondary casters, if you critically succeed on your check, you actually provide the primary caster with a bonus on their check. If you just regular success simply allows the ritual to continue. If you fail, though, you provide a penalty
Ooh.
to the ritual casting.
Okay.
When everybody has made their secondary checks, the primary caster makes a check, and the results determine the effect of the ritual. Okay? And I leave it a little bit up to you to sort of tell me how whatever skill you pick, you can kind of determine, like, how are you participating in this ritual? Like, what are you contributing to the act? If you were using a performance, are you singing a chant? Are you dancing like the scorpion? If you are, using your arcana, are you focusing the weave of magic around you? You can kind of determine how it is that you're participating in this particular ritual. But either way, she begins waving her hands over the crystal and chanting this low, you almost can't make out any words, and it almost sounds like she's just humming at first, but occasionally there's like something in it. And she begins this, and she commands you to focus your intentions on helping her reach through the planar barrier and contact a being who might know more. And let's have Moondust. Mm-hmm. How are you contributing to the ritual? What skill do you want to use?
I have impressive performance.
Yay! If you've got an impressive performance, impress me.
sorry. Hang on.
I will not.
Did you say diplomacy could be one?
And I
Nope.
said religion, occultism, arcana, or performance.
Performance.
Okay.
But I don't know what my impressive performance does for me. I think I can just use my performance instead of diplomacy.
Yeah, I think you can use that to make an impression on people. Like,
But my
yeah.
diplomacy's higher.
Well, you can't use diplomacy on this one.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So, what I'm gonna do
Yes.
is I'm gonna fly from Peepa's hair. And she's still got all the dancing lights kind of all
Yeah.
around her. And I'm going to grab one of the dancing lights and kind of like spin around into a circle straight up in the air. And then I'm gonna shoot fairy pixie dust all around myself. And
Okay.
it's gonna glimmer and shimmer. And then I'm going to throw candy.
Okay. You can throw in candy, making offerings of candy.
And one will like bounce, bounce, bounce next to the scorpion.
Make
true
your
tip.
performance check.
23.
23. As this candy bounces over next to the scorpion who is dancing around, he actually picks it up in his little claws and like holds it over its body and begins like dancing with it. And you all watch as that piece of candy catches fire and burns, but it doesn't like leave any ash. There's no smoke. It just like, it's almost like it just disintegrates. And as more of the candy that you're tossing begins to fall on the table, the scorpion begins dancing around the table, picking up the pieces of candy, almost as if making offerings of them to whatever being you're attempting to contact. And you have succeeded, and the ritual proceeds to Hawk. Hawk, how are you contributing to the ritual?
So, out of all the options Hawk has been given, he's going to be pulling out from his pouch a string of prayer beads and just kind of like praying for guidance over this as we are looking for these answers, just hoping that the gods aid in this, but also that we would be protected from any harm through this bit of a dangerous process. He's not a very religious man, but it'll be a 15 total with a 12 on the dice.
15 total. You begin praying, probably not something that you do a ton of. And at first, your words are very strong. You feel like you're like, all right, I'm just, I've got a mission to do. I'm here to complete this job. And as it goes on, like, you all begin to hear him get quieter and quieter. And you don't feel like you're getting, like, you don't even seem to notice it. But it's almost like there is this, like, bubble of quiet that is closing in on you. And you actually hear a voice in your head at one point as it's almost like you're speaking, but nothing's coming out. And you hear, your gods have no place here. You have failed.
Ooh.
And the ritual, like it's not going well for Hawk.
That was my best effort I could do.
Your beliefs are weak. Peepa, what are you gonna do?
I will use performance.
Performance. You saw that work very well for Moon Dust, Glitter Violet, Sparkle Wishes. And what is your performance?
I will chant along with her the best I can.
All right, so you are trying to mimic her and
Yes.
strengthen her chant, which is getting louder. And the further it goes on, it starts to sound less like a hum and more like words in a language. Languages do you know?
Let's see. I know none selected.
Clever.
Make a
sorry,
society. Actually,
Paizo.
anybody who wants can make a society check.
That is bad
Give
on me. I
everybody an opportunity
apologize.
here to figure out.
18.
18,
13.
13.
When do I get to do acrobatics?
We'll get there. We'll get there. But you just begin trying to strengthen her chant.
Yes.
You're trying to mimic her cadence and her tone. Go ahead and make your performance check. See if you can
Okay.
follow along as she chants in a language you do not know or understand.
14 plus 12. Was that 26?
26. And yes, you are able to follow along with her, and it becomes almost like a song. You start to actually pick out the rhythms of it, and you can even enhance it sort of as with instruments as you're matching her, and it gets louder and louder. And even though Hawk has been sort of drowned out by some strange, almost oppressive supernatural force, your music is sort of overcoming that sort of
Nice.
almost silence, like enforced silence that you can almost feel closing in around you all. And we move on to Flotsam with his psychic abilities.
I'm gonna go with the occultism check.
Okay.
But I'm gonna do it.
Now do you happen to have, because I believe you took with your 6th level, you took a
With my
dedication.
6th level, I took a dedication in thaumaturge. Yeah.
Do you have the esoterica lore skill now?
I
trained.
do not.
Okay.
Unless it came with a thing.
I
I didn't
I'm not
get
sure if
a
I
benefit
don't-
lore.
Okay. I don't
out
know
of
if the
it.
dedication gave that to you automatically.
No.
Okay. Then just go ahead. You can make your occultism check.
But what I want to do is, it's not supposed to be used this way, but you've seen me cast spells before. You can kind of see, like, when I do it, the elements kind of tend to dance around me. But I'd like to unleash my psyche and just embiggen my psychic presence, so it's easier to kind of manipulate
Yeah.
and drive around. So let's see what happens here. It's a 19 on the die, plus 11. That's a 30, Jim.
30. I imagine it almost like you become sort of like a signal amplifier as you are literally attempting to reach out into somewhere. You don't even know what you're reaching out into, but you know you are trying to become a receptive to send a signal and to receive a signal. So you sort of use your psychic, you unleash your psyche to become a signal amplifier, to break through whatever barriers might be between the planes so that you can contact whatever it is you're attempting to contact on the other side. And with 3 successes and only 1 failure, it's going to apply a -4 penalty to this check. Now I have Martella's stats here, but I think one of you should actually roll the primary check. Do we want to give Hawk an opportunity to redeem himself by
Yeah.
rolling
Come
a
on.
die for
Come on,
Martella?
Hawk.
Come on,
Let's do it,
Nathan.
Hawk.
All right.
Don't suck.
Here we go.
What is it?
18 on the dice.
So smooth as over.
Okay, good job.
Oh, phew.
Even with Hawk being unable to focus well enough to contribute to this ritual, the rest of you pull together and you hear Martella's and Pipa's chanting reach a crescendo. And this crystal on the table begins to glow with a fiery red color. And as it does, you see a tiny figure that begins to take shape in a smoky haze within. You see it as a small, winged devil holding a clipboard.
Well, that's not nice, Jim.
You hear,
What?
"Hello there, you've reached the Infernal Information Hotline. Anything you want to know for a price you don't? This is Gibbet speaking. How can I help you?"
Gibbets! Oh my god, Gibbets!
Hawk just kind of backs up to the corner.
Oh shit, that's right!
Hawk just backs up.
Sorry.
And it's just like. And she just points to the other guys like, you talk.
Hi! I'm small, like him. I'm gonna run over there. Can I shake his hand?
No, he's just like
he's in the
like
ball.
an image in the crystal.
I go to try to shake his hand.
Okay, yeah, I mean like
And I
you
hit
just like hit the crystal. Yeah.
What?
Nah, hold on there. I'm not really there. I actually can't come to the. I'm not physically there. We're just talking.
Oh, hi.
Actually, as I understand it, you've successfully completed the ritual to contact us, and this entitles you to 1 free question and 1
What?
truthful answer. So,
What?
congratulations.
Oh,
and,
thank you.
I'm gonna
and
fly
he
to
looks
the-
around the room, and he sees Hawk hiding in the corner. He goes, hey, there's a guy who shot me. I see this. See this, old man?
Yeah.
Happy with your handiwork? Thanks to you, I'm stuck in answering these mortal questions all day for the next, 98 years? So, hope you're happy with yourself.
I
Did
mean,
you call me just to gloat? Is that what this is about?
no, I don't usually gloat. Usually I don't get a chance to communicate with the creatures I've killed. So this is a little awkward for me.
This is good. Maybe you guys can like mend things together.
I mean, he was trying to, like, take over world.
Well, now hold on. I was trying to fulfill, and you know what? We don't need to get into semantics, right? I was just doing a job, and I got shot for no reason, as I understand it. But nevertheless, you've successfully completed the ritual, and I'm bound to answer a question. So let's get this over with. Got other mortals on the line waiting. So what is it you wanted to know?
Can you give us a couple seconds to have it?
She did not finish that.
We'll be right back. Let's huddle.
I have an idea.
You almost asked him a question.
I was gonna.
No. Because if you ask him a question and he answers it truthfully, then we've used our one question.
We need couple seconds, period.
But what you said was, could you give?
Right.
You said shh.
We were in the huddle. He's over there. I drape a towel.
Drape a towel. He's like a bird. He can't perceive the outside world.
I have the most perfect question we should ask him.
What's a ghost mom?
Does he want to be our very best friend?
No.
But that's a great question.
But if he's our friend, he'll answer questions.
No.
What?
Maybe.
What do we need to ask him? I don't
Look,
remember.
You're prejudiced. You've killed it once.
Right.
I think your vote doesn't count here.
Well, hold up. At least I think everyone should be able to present a question, and we think amongst the group, which is the best question to ask?
Do we need the
Mine.
witch?
No, wait, what's your question?
Ah.
No.
Oh, yeah. Should we ask what the ghost mom is?
No. I'm pretty sure what we should ask for is, where is Killian? Because remember, we came in here to get information about him,
Oh, yeah.
and then she was like, we can't see him, so we got to contact someone. So now, the best thing would be to go
Make
find
sure
him.
you say the last name, because it could be any Killian in the world.
Right.
Just
I
make
don't
sure-
think I should ask, though, even
Also-
though we've got the deal going.
Can you put a comma in the question?
Yeah, we should make sure that our question is really long so we get everything answered that we want.
Yeah, and we could trick him.
Well, no, tricking people isn't very nice.
No, but it's a
asking a
joke.
long question, that's not against the rules.
Okay, hurry, because he's got a lot of people to talk to.
Okay, well,
I don't
who's gonna
think
ask
he
the
does.
question?
Okay, so who is Killian
Should
Gray?
we say, where can we find Killian Craig?
Where and who is Killian Gray?
And what's a ghost mom?
What is the quickest way to get there?
Which one?
Where? Where is he?
Where's
That's the most
Killian
important
Gray?
thing. Right.
Not
But what if he says, oh, he's in the world somewhere, and we're like, oh boy, that's not very specific.
Ask
in the
for the
world?
closest cross street.
Where in the world is Killian Gray?
What is his latitude and longitude?
What if he's not on this plane?
Oh,
I don't know if they have latitude and longitude technology built into their cartography system yet.
They haven't figured it out yet.
Wait, hold on. Maybe we could streamline this whole thing. What do we want to ask Killian? Maybe we could just ask this guy.
But what if he doesn't know the answer?
But we only get to ask this guy one question. We might want to ask Killian a whole slew of them.
I like
And
questions.
also see if there's any clues around where Killian is.
Maybe we ask how we could capture him.
Well, again, we would have to know
find
where he is.
But that would come in that answer.
Would it?
I don't know.
What if we ask, hey, can you tell us how to find Killian Craig?
But the answer to that could be,
Open
yes,
your
I
eyes.
can.
Oh,
That's why we need to
tricky
ask,
one.
where
Specific.
exactly is Killian Craig?
perfect. We're gonna say that.
You ask him.
No.
You're his best friend.
No, they're not.
But what if he tries to trick you?
Exactly.
He said it's gonna be truthful, though.
He did. I just feel like there's
You
a little bit of
should've
bad
talked to
blood
him.
since I killed him.
You just said tricking is bad.
Yeah,
But he's got.
but sometimes people do it.
So do they?
No, he's
But
little.
Binacorn?
it's not nice
So,
to make fun
okay,
of people
just
like
to
I'm not making fun
formulate
of
this
him.
question
Okay.
properly, we should say,
Where?
Where exactly
in the
in
world.
the whole entire universe
Yes.
is Killian Craig? How do we get to him?
Would you like a candy?
Would you want to be my best friend? That's such a good way to end the question. What do you think?
I'll be in charge of the question as much as it pains me. I think I should. After all of this, I have
And
become.
ask about the ma.
The ghost map!
Hello,
And
Gibbets.
also how to make the candy out of that special leaf out in front of the house.
Do you think he'll be truthful to you, though, Hawk?
He has to be. We completed the ritual.
You can murder him again.
No, that's not very nice.
Maybe one of us should ask, not you.
Okay,
I mean, if you killed me,
Peeper.
I'd be very mad, and I'd
Peeper.
want to kill you through the glass thing.
how would you ask
Wow,
this
Peeper.
question?
Well,
What?
I mean,
What did I say? Would you add anything to the things that I said?
No, it'd be, where in the world is exactly Killian Gray? Question mark.
Not the world, because what if he's not in the world?
Wait,
Where?
I thought it was Killian Cray.
Gray.
In the universe?
I feel like that matters.
It's like we're making a wish.
Just go in the door.
Someone asked.
Okay, very specifically, in the whole universe, can we find Killian Cray? And leave him over friend.
No, stop me with the do that one.
Gibbets, where in
You
the...
have to undo
You
the
ready?
tab.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Us.
Whoosh.
Sorry we took so long.
Okay,
We had a lot of questions.
ready.
My apologies. Where in the world is Killian Cray?
I was going to ask that.
I know, but you said someone else should do it.
Killian Cray. Hold, please. Gibbets starts flipping through papers on his clipboard. He's reading. It takes a few minutes. He finally looks back and says, "Oh yeah, all right then. This guy's living in Tamry Field, looks like. So that's question answered, obligation fulfilled. You'll be hearing from us shortly."
Will you be my very best friend?
And then...
Oh,
What was that last part he said?
Why are we going to hear from him shortly?
is that what
I
he said?
turned-
Maybe
at
because
that point, Myrtella comes out almost like she's coming out of a trance. She's like, "Did you get what you needed? Did it work?"
We know where
not
Killian Cray
exactly.
is.
Excellent.
Why are they going to be contacting us shortly?
Well, the hotline, there's a cost.
What is the cost?
That is going to be something
I
we
was
all
in
get
the
to discover
bathroom.
together.
Oh, well, maybe they just want candy or to be friends.
I have a really bad
It's
feeling.
likely that they want to be friends.
See, I knew it.
Maybe it's a good thing Hawk asked because you killed him and he might kill you.
Yeah, no, I'm starting to feel like
Hey, wait.
Jim has written his finale.
I'll take care of the dog if you die.
I don't know if that makes me feel better.
No, we'll get him a little bear hat and everything. It'll be good.
I can write it.
It's okay, Hawk. Don't worry, okay?
Okay, it doesn't
Maybe
matter.
he'll just want 6 drops of blood like Chauncey.
That's true. Perhaps he's just as bad as the king that I serve. Well,
Is there anything else you need from us?
If you have the information you need, I mean, I'm here to help in any way. I am, of course, searching for them. I have been for a long time. So
Yeah.
you're the only ones who've really taken this search to heart.
Oh, it's me.
Yes.
Oh, do you know how we could get to Tamary Field?
Indeed. You must simply go through the woods. Stick to the paths, though, this time.
Oh,
Don't go off on your own.
I
The
would
paths
never.
will take you straight through, north of the kingdom. On the other side is Tamry Field. It should take you 2 days if you're careful. You could make it in 1 if you had transportation, such as beasts, to carry you, but I don't believe you do.
Do you have any transportation that we could borrow?
I do not.
I mean, we know a
I
king.
could do another ritual. There's another number I know. They provide transportation services, but
What
Well,
does
maybe
that-
do you have a phone? Because maybe I could just call my dad's.
what is
what?
Yeah, what's that?
I don't know. I heard someone say it one time, but they made it seem like it was a way to communicate people like your dad's.
I don't have a dad.
I'm sorry, Peepa. I have 2.
Thank you for the follow.
That was the saddest thank you ever.
Okay, well, does it cost anything? I mean, they're gonna want something too from us.
Wait,
everyone you talk to is going to want something in return. Services rendered require payment.
we know a king. We could probably, like, sequester horses.
How far away?
I mean, we're outside of town. We just go back in to the castle, be like, "Hey, Chauncey, can we get a few horses?" And I think maybe, if we were like, "It's for the mission," he'd be like, "Cool, here's some horses,"
Okay, we can do that.
Do I know how to call through the trees?
No.
I don't.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So, there's a slight problem with 2 days. Are there any lakes and or large puddles between here and there?
Between here and there, I mean, you can find sort of like I know you.
Because I've got to get
You
wet.
need water, yes. You could find water, especially with Hawk's help, probably. You know,
I mean,
there's-
if I
there's
really
water
squeeze my leaves, you'll have some water.
No, that's dirty leaf juice.
It's not dirty. Only when Bartimus wipes stuff on me.
Let me put it this way: y'all can get through the woods just fine. I didn't intend for the woods to be the part. If you just go on the
We want
path,
horses,
there's
Jim.
nothing
Give us
happens.
horses.
You just go to Tammy
Okay,
Field.
okay,
It's okay.
okay.
I go to
I got
Tamary
nothing
Fields.
happens.
We
But
go
that's
to the
okay.
kingdom and ask Chauncey for horses.
Chauncey's like, yeah, sure, whatever will get you to go to the next part of the adventure.
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay.
I get a horse, but he's got like a sidecar full of bathtub.
You're like in a barrel.
Yeah.
You didn't have a cart with just a big old bucket in the back. You had a sidecar.
A barrel.
Pipa and I have a pony.
Yeah.
And what colors is it? It's not brown.
It's gonna be white with rainbow hair.
Yes, it's
And prestidigitation is brown.
and I prestidigitation it back. I can do that.
That's rude.
We go then.
So we go there. You get your horse. You go to the woods.
We're all fired. All of these characters die.
Hawk's dead at the end of the episode, I'm pretty sure.
That's true.
So.
You're a goner.
The paths through the forest are generally safe enough so long as you stick to them. And so you have a very simple and quiet journey. It takes you to the other side of the forest. It takes you a day on horseback, and it's very nice and pleasant. And your horses, some of the horses are beautiful with rainbow hair. Other horses have a sidecar with water so that you
I splashed it
moisten your
everywhere.
skin.
Every time I get close to Hawk, it's just
It's just a horse. It's a brown horse.
you're a horrible,
With a
horrible
dog.
woodsman.
What does that have to do with being a woodsman? I have a brown horse. It kind of blends in.
What kind of horse? Is it a dapple? Is it a stepper?
Palomino?
A wood.
See?
A wood walking horse.
Oh, okay.
It's a Clydesdale.
All right.
Oh, that's really
It's not really ideal for riding. It's more a workhorse if we want to get into it.
Yeah,
right.
but
We
if
don't. We don't want to get into the horse chat over.
And
Does anybody like to make a society check
Yes.
about Tamary Field and see if you know anything about this?
I thought it was about horses.
How about unicorn?
16, Jim. Does the guy that lives in the harbor know about this?
18.
20!
Yay!
And I don't society very well. But it's a 20. This one.
So, Hawk, you actually know the most about this, probably because it's kind of a place that you have maybe once or twice even thought about sort of retiring to. If you ever decide like you're no longer interested in this life of adventure, it's kind of a place that you might like to go to because it is not like it's not like a town. It's sort of like it's just this area, and there are like scattered like farmsteads and like hunters and trappers and woodsmen make their lives there. There's no big like central community. It's a very rural area, and you know that it's generally kind of a quiet and a very like you have to be very self-sufficient to live there because there's almost no like community or services of any kind there. Like you know you go out there and you hunt for your own food or you grow it and you might barter some with some neighbors, but your neighbors are probably 5-6 miles away. Like it's a very isolated, quiet, self-sufficient type of place. Now, despite the fact that when I say there's no community, there's no like central buildings. What you do know about that place is that the people who are there, they, especially over time, they kind of know who's in the area. And they tend to be a little wary of outsiders. So you get the impression, especially if you're looking for somebody specific there, that going in there and making a bunch of demands is probably going to raise a lot of suspicions and people aren't going to be as very cooperative with you. In fact, keeping as low a profile as you possibly can while you're there would probably serve your interests best.
Nah.
Because it's rather difficult to get those kinds of people to trust you. But either way, it should be. I mean, as long as you guys keep to yourselves, it's not a dangerous place. People there aren't malicious or evil or anything. They're just kind of wary
Yeah.
Okay.
and protective of their own. So yeah, it's about a day's journey, and it's very easy, and you get out of the woods. The trees thin, and there's no signs or markers, but you would know, Hawk, just with your knowledge of the area, that you are in Tamry Field. If you keep following the road, there is an inn for travelers. Because occasionally, like, merchants will come into the area, or people just passing through. So there is a place that you can sort of hold up for a few days if you would like. But aside from that, it's like wandering around. Like, there's farmsteads. There's a couple isolated. Like, you might find like some trapper camps or something. There's no. You basically just gotta like find this guy in the area. Now, there's a whole way in terms of when you guys want to actually start like searching for this guy. But just initially, you get into Tamry Field. Do you want to go to the inn, or do you want to make camp on your own somewhere, or like, how do you want to where do you want to sort of be set up while you're searching the area for Killian Gray?
I mean, I can set us up with a bit of a camp if we want, but if anyone would prefer staying at the inn.
Is Chauncey paying? Because then
I definitely think it would all be deductible.
Then let's go to the fancy rooms.
I like fancy.
It's fine by me. We can go in, say, we're visiting a friend type thing.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like,
Who cares? Why
if they ask, like, why are you here? We're just visiting a friend. And if they're like, oh, who? I might know. That would be
Moondust.
Killian. No.
Oh, I actually have a really interesting maybe idea that we could try.
Yeah?
Okay.
In the morning.
Oh.
Right? Or are we going now?
Well, before you get too deep into specific detail plans, once you figure out where you're going to be, I'll get into like how I kind of envision running this.
Got it.
Let's go to the inn.
The inn.
My tub could use refilling.
The inn.
The inn.
inn.
Okay, that's fine. You decide you're gonna stay there, and it's right along the road. You just stay on the path and you come up to this inn. And it's a fairly large building, and it looks to be kept in decent repair. It has a very, very rustic feel. Those of you who are used to accommodations in the capital city of Cavalocia, you're probably looking at this place kind of like, but it's nice. You, Hawk, would probably, it's a great place. It's nice. And it's called the Cracked Mug. And inside, you go in there, and there's an elf woman who introduces herself as Vel, and she doesn't really ask a lot of questions. I mean, she sees travelers come in and out every once in a while. She has rooms available, says you can set up. Any idea how long you'll be staying?
Forever.
No, probably just
Not usually the answer that we get around here.
probably a couple nights at most.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, nobody should bother you, and she's got enough rooms that you can each have your own. She can just passes out keys to everyone and says, well, if you need anything, food's included in all of this, so,
I leave the key.
Mostly stews and porridges.
Say, sleepover.
But I also do my own, hard apple cider.
Oh!
So,
What's that? What's that?
It's a gift from the trees and turned into a juice.
And I like juice.
Thank you for the follow. Yeah, me too. Sometimes.
Okay. Sometimes I can eat plants, but sometimes you get mad about
No,
it.
don't. It just depends on what part of the plant.
Well, that's very subjective.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much for the rooms.
nope, that's what this place is for. Does this one, does she need her own room? Do you want your own room?
No, she's got a room with me.
Rooms are
Oh, okay,
really
so
big.
3 rooms.
Yeah.
3 rooms.
You can
that makes
save a room for another guest. Because we're so
Cool.
nice.
Well, right now, traffic's very low. So we don't see. I'm actually surprised to have a group as big as yours. It won't be another, 3 or 4 after the festival 2 weeks ago. That was the biggest amount of traffic we'd had in a month. We won't see it again until midwinters.
A festival?
Yeah, there was the festival in the capital city. It was a big to-do. A lot of people passed through, and then a lot of people came leaving the festival, passed through, and it'll be quiet here until, again, about midwinter.
We'll need someone to take care of our horses.
Oh, sure,
Just
yeah, we can do that.
simply the best. All the oats.
We know how to take care of horses, that's fine.
I just want to make sure they get top notch. Premium. If you have oats that cost this much and oats that cost, I want the oats that cost this much. Because Chauncey's paying.
You just want to pay more for the oats? I mean, if you want to pay more,
let's do that.
I mean, you can always tip Billy. He's the stable boy. He'll be taking care of your animals and seeing to all of it. And there's this, he's maybe 15 or 16. This guy who's sweeping the common room who looks up and says, "Oh yeah, I'll take care of them. Good care of them. I like horses. I like them."
Oh, Hawk, make sure to give lots of tip.
There's a silver.
That's like 3 months of his wages. He's like, "Oh yes, top notch." That's probably a little bit of an exaggeration, but there's not a kid who sees a lot of money for what he's doing,
What about Vel?
He's quite happy to.
Well, you tip the front desk at the end of the stay.
We have to
I
make
think
sure
you
that it's good service.
Yeah, and give the gold shiny one. That one's prettier than the silver shiny one.
I go to the pouch of coin that Chauncey gave me, and I place the gold there. When we got the horses, he was like, "By the way, here's a bag of money."
Make a perception. Trying to think what. Yeah, make a perception check. It's wisdom based enough.
Soft 20.
Soft 20. Okay. As they're telling you to just like hand out coin, like this is basically just sort of like your insight of this kind of an area. If your intention is to keep a lower profile, then pulling out that much coin as soon as you arrive
It's really nice.
is almost certainly going to raise everybody's suspicion immediately. Like it's something that would be so out of character to do in this kind of an area that like people are immediately gonna either just think you're weirdos or think you're up to something.
So I have just flipped the silver to the boy,
Yeah.
and I see kind of like Vel's reaction, and I go, "That should take care of us for our entire stay. Just be a good lad about it all." And then I go up to Vel and hand her just like 3 copper, and just like,
Yeah.
"Thank you so much."
Yeah, and she takes that as sort of your deposit for the room, and she gives you the keys. She says, "All right, yeah. I mean, meals when you want them. We don't really keep strict hours around here, as long as payments due when you leave."
All right, great. We'll go to the rooms right
see our room.
now.
So you go to your rooms. You sort of dust off. Relax for a minute. And the way that we're going to run this is as we're going to use the infiltration system, or at least a streamlined version of the infiltration system that Pathfinder offers. So the way this works is that there's going to be a number of obstacles, which really represent like the things you would do to try to find out information. All I'm really doing is sort of like giving you things to focus on. And they're probably ideas that you would come up with normally, but this just sort of defines them for you. I'll lay out each of those obstacles, and you can engage with them however you choose. You can take them on separately, individually, if you want, or you can work together on them. There's not going to be any danger for like doing something on your own for this particular part of it. Each obstacle and each activity that you do, you should think of it more as like an extended task thing. Like you might spend several hours talking to people in town, or you might spend a couple of hours searching the woods for something. You're not doing like one individual action. You're doing an activity that might take the greater part of a day. Every obstacle, it takes 2 points to fully overcome it, right? A success on your check gets you 1 point. A critical success gets you 2 points. If you fail, you don't make any progress on that. When you've accumulated 2 points, you've overcome that obstacle. And we'll say that when you've overcome 3 obstacles, you will have collected enough information that you could pinpoint Killian Cray's location. However, as you are doing this, when you fail checks, especially when you critically fail checks, you gain awareness points. Awareness points are everybody's suspicion of you. They see you snooping around. They don't like the questions you're asking. They just are put off by you. And the more awareness points you get, the more difficult things can become. Perhaps, people are just less likely to talk to you, so the DCs of your checks go up. Maybe somebody even goes and warns Killian that there's people looking, so he's forewarned. There's different and there's different things that happen as you accumulate more awareness points. And if you gain too many awareness points, if you guys just flub this whole thing and it's just an absolute disaster, Killian might just flee altogether. He might be he might skip town and you never find him. He might disappear into the wind.
I'll handle this.
So in terms of the obstacles, which again are really just sort of the ways that you would seek this guy out, here's what I've got for you. You can go out and survey the woods. You would use survival or nature for that, and you're really just scouring the area. You're literally just, what can you find in the area? You can ask people around, and this might not be a specific person. You might just literally spend a day traveling around and talking to people, talking to various people, and seeing if you can gain their trust. And if you can gain their trust, if you can actually get specific information about this guy. And you would use deception or diplomacy for this. The third option that you have, you can actually just snoop around the inn. Snoop around where you're staying. See if there's anything. Because you would know that not only is this inn also serves as sort of whenever people in the area need goods, they come to the inn, order it, the shipments come here. People there's a lot of this serves as sort of a hub for the whole community. So maybe there's some clue about him in the area that would be in the inn. So you snoop around and you use stealth or thievery to overcome this one.
Okay.
You can literally just sort of stake the place out, eavesdrop on people, and spend the day observing the community and the people and their movements. You would use perception or society for this one. You could attempt to coerce people into telling you things, or sort of try to establish authority. Maybe if you take somebody aside and you're hey, look, we're on a mission for the king. You better tell us what you know. You could use intimidation or society to do that. And then, from your experience with the unicorn and the way that it moves through the trees and whatever horrible things were going on at the Swift Winds Trading Company building that mysteriously burned down for no reason.
Spontaneous combustion.
You know that there is sort of an arcane or occult element to this, and you could literally survey the area to see if there are any other similar disturbances that might indicate that kind of activity in the area, which maybe would give you a clue as to where this guy is. And you can use occultism or arcana for those checks.
Unicorn lore.
There's no unicorn.
Dang it, Jim.
Now again, that's 6 different sort of ways to tackle this. You only need to overcome 3 of these, and you have a variety of skills that you can use at your disposal. I think what we'll do is we'll have you guys pick which ones you want to do, and then I think what we'll do is have you roll checks, and then we'll do little role plays, how it actually plays out, and we'll just kind of we'll go with it. We'll flow with it,
Okay.
So which of those things? And again, you guys can both work together on certain things. So it's kind of up to you. We'll start with Hawk. What do you think you want to do, and do you want to pull somebody else into your investigation? Are you just going to go it alone, or what do you want to do?
I think I might take Peepa and check the woods.
Yeah.
Just look around there for any sign of, because there's the main roads, but I think the thing I would be looking for is has anyone been doing anything off the main path? And,
Sure.
and things like that. Maybe look for if there's a secret store stash hidden somewhere.
Sure.
And foot tracks.
And footprints
Tracks,
and just
yeah.
just the sign that shows someone's been going through here a lot.
Sure. So you can, again, for exploring the woods, you can use survival or nature.
Okay.
And which of you wants to make the first check?
You go for it.
I'll go for it?
Yeah, you invited
All right.
me.
Come on. With an 11 on the dice, that's going to be a 24.
Ooh.
24. Okay. So you start heading out, and obviously there's the forest that you just came through, but there's a lot of like wooded areas around. So you just sort of your first, probably a couple of hours, just getting a lay of the land, finding out what's what, and you start exploring the area, and you go out into some of the remote territories. There's this one forested area that you can. As you're moving through it, you see that it is pretty popular. It must be a very popular kind of area because you find signs of a lot of there's nobody in them, but there are lots of like campsites that are set up. And you realize that what the people have done here is that people will come and they'll camp. Maybe they do like an overnight hunt or something like that, and there's almost like a sort of you've seen it before in some communities. There's sort of like a take a penny, leave a penny kind of agreement with everybody, where like you'll go there and you'll see there'll be some like bundles of arrows or dry rations buried in wax packets and stuff like that, like camping supplies that you can, when you're camping there, you can use.
Yeah.
But with the understanding that like when you have things, you'll leave them for the other campers.
Yeah.
And you basically spend the better part of your first couple of hours of effort going around and seeing where all the camps are and getting a feel for things and just sort of getting a lay of the land. And you've gained 1 point towards overcoming that. Now you have people with you. People, if you want to just keep going with him, you can also make a check, or we can say that's what you guys do. You go back, and then you could try a different activity if you wanted to. It's completely up to you.
Since I'm with him, let me try the same activity.
Yeah. So as basically at the same time that he's doing all this, you're sort of investigating the campsites too, and just getting a feel for the woods around you and see if there's any sign that stands out to you. Go ahead, nature or survival.
Okay, we're gonna do nature. That is 16 plus 13.
16
29.
plus 13?
Yeah.
29.
Nice.
Yeah. So while he is showing you all these campsites, and you start to notice something very interesting at some of them.
Okay.
Is that at first you thought it was sort of like random tokens, but you see that on some of the trails around here, they have like different trail markers, and there are all these different colored ones and different like designs, and they're usually like little pieces of ribbon or something very inconspicuous and small. But you start to realize that you're pretty sure that a lot of the different hunters and just trappers and travelers that use these camps and travel through these woods have like their own signature trail markers. And sometimes, not only do they each seem to be personalized, but sometimes you start to pick up on the fact that like sometimes they'll leave each other messages almost. Like one time you see a trail marker with like a deer antler tied to it, and as you're moving through there and you look at you start to see lots of signs of deer in this area. Like they almost like pass messages to each other using these trail markers and little like tokens and stuff. And it's a very intricate kind of like language that they built for themselves. And then you find this one camp where you recognize almost immediately there's almost like a memorial kind of vibe. Something set up here. There's some place of significance. There's this big tree with a hollow in it, and there are a lot of tokens in this hollow. And there is you don't know exactly what, but you get the feeling that there's something very significant about these. So you go in and you're just looking at it, and you see like little pins and buttons, and there's even like a dagger in there, and you're looking around and you see something that catches your eye, and you pick it out, and it is like a metal badge almost, and it says K Cray on it.
Oh.
And as you're looking at it, it has like, it's like on the background of it is the Swift Winds Trading Company logo. And so you don't know why it's here or what this memorial stands for, but you know that it is very likely that he's in the area somewhere. He uses these trails. He knows his way around the woods. And you've overcome one of the obstacles and gained a significant piece of information that will lead you to the location of your quarry with your actions. So, yay! And we'll say that sort of takes like your guys' whole first day is spent doing that. So we go back back in time
Back in
a little
time.
bit,
Back in
and we go
time.
to Moondust. What do you want to do, if anything, to try to seek this guy out?
What would be would you say most of the people around the inn are humans?
Just for kicks and giggles, make a perception check or a society check, whichever one you like better.
Perception. Oh,
12.
12, yeah. Well, I mean, the only people that you see pretty much through the first, like after you get settled and everything, you're looking around, the only people that you actually see are Vel and Billy. Billy is a small human, teenager. Vel is an elf. You don't really see anybody else. You just haven't seen anybody. You haven't met anybody. So it's hard to say who else lives in the area.
I'm gonna use my ancestry feat
Okay.
of Fey disguise.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm gonna turn myself into a human child.
A human child.
Human
Okay.
child.
All right.
If I can select an age range between the ages of 5 and 8.
Okay. All right.
And is Flotsam with me?
It depends. That's up to Flotsam and you.
Flotsam is gonna do some
Other
underbelly
things?
seedy
Okay.
things.
Flotsam has other plans.
So my Fey disguise actually gives me a +4 bonus to deception.
Okay.
So I'm gonna, I guess if the only 2 people there are Vel and the stable boy, I'm gonna go walk outside.
Yeah, you can. Like,
As a
yeah, like,
kid.
yeah. There are like places you can go. Like, yeah, you.
And I'm
go
gonna
find
look
them.
really lost.
Sure. Yeah, you want to go out and basically be like a lost child.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
if I run into someone,
So why don't you make your? I assume you're using deception since it gives you a bonus on it. You make your deception check, and then we'll see kind of how that plays out.
Okay, 14 plus
wow.
16.
Okay. Yeah, you start wandering. That is a 30. You start wandering around, and you come up to. It takes a while. It's a long walk, but you eventually come to you see like a farmhouse in the distance. So you start walking up to it, and there's people working in the fields, and one of them is this guy. He's maybe 35, 36 years old, and he looks over at you, and he's, "Hey, there's a kid over here. There's a child." And he runs up. He's like, Hello. Are you lost? What's happening? What's wrong? Where are your parents?
Hi. I'm looking for my uncle. His name is Killian, and I lost him.
That's terrible. Okay, well, come in. So he takes you into the house, and you can see he lives there with his family. He's got a wife who she fusses over for a few minutes. She's, oh, you poor thing, you walking around. Oh my goodness. And they start making food for you, and they sit you down, and they're like, okay, so tell us everything that happened. We'll get you to your parents. And he says, no, he's looking for uncle or uncle. She's, okay, who's your uncle, honey? Tell me all about it.
Killian Cray, and that's really the only name that I know for my uncle, but we were out in the woods and I was helping him with something, and then I turn around and I was lost in the woods for so long.
So they seem to eat this up. They buy this completely. They are extremely worried about you, and you got a critical success. So you've completely overcome this particular.
Now you have a family.
But
She doesn't have a family.
but you can tell that they're when you are talking about Killian, at first they're he's the wife's I who's Killian? He's like, oh wait, no, that Cray. I know Cray. I mean, I don't know him, but I know somebody who does know him. So we'll get in touch with him. We'll get you to your uncle. Don't you worry. And they basically you can tell they know who to talk to get in touch with Cray, and you pick up another name, and you basically gain significant information that you could use to pinpoint where this guy is. That puts you guys at 2 of the 3 challenges overcome,
Huzzah!
which takes us
Up to you, no pressure.
Yeah.
Flotsam, who wants to do some seedy underbelly stuff.
Yeah. Well,
So-
you listed a bunch of skills, and
Yeah.
society's not. I live in a harbor, Jim. But I am good at getting my hands on things and knowing things.
Okay.
My initial idea is, because you said this inn is like a hub? Like there's like rather than like a central marketplace or something.
Yeah, like if you were gonna order, like if you lived in the area and you wanted to order something, you would come here, you would talk to Vel, she would send a message to the city, and they would bring it here. You would come and pick it up, kind of thing. Yeah.
I was hoping I could use a combination of my aura sight and my thievery to kind of move between the people there and try and find something that maybe Cray picked up on and or is waiting for, or has tried to be shady about.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead and make your thievery check, and then we'll see how it all plays out.
Thievery. It's 13 on the die plus 11, 24.
24. Yeah. So there is a moment, like after you guys all get settled in, Vel, like, if you don't need her, she's got a lot of other things to do, and her and Billy are really the only people in the area. Billy's off, caring for your horses. After he gets the money from Hawk, he takes that very seriously. Like at some point, like he's not even really doing anything at a point. He's just like singing to the horses, and making sure that they're just very well taken care of, and devoting all of his attention to that. So you don't have to worry about him. And Vel, like, she goes off to she's out back pressing more cider, and you realize like this would be an opportunity, kind of by yourself, nobody else is around.
Ray! Thank you, Ray.
An opportunity for you to get into some things that you're not supposed to. So you scout you get the lay of the building, and you realize that Vel has an office. And it's very likely that if there are a lot of records of things coming in and out of this place, probably in Vel's office. The problem is that door is locked. But luckily, with your check, you're able to. Do you have thieves' tools?
I do have thieves' tools.
You've got some thieves' tools. So you don't even bother looking around to see if you can find a key. You just give me the lock. You hear it click. You sneak in there. Nobody's the wiser, and you begin pouring through record. You begin looking around, trying to find records, like what's coming in, what's going. You actually do find like a ledger of different things that have been coming in, different orders that people have been placing, and most of it's mundane, sundry supplies. All of it is boring, months and months and months of records. But there are some very interesting orders that have been coming in that are completely unmarked. What I mean is you'll see the initials KC, and then there's no like contents listed. You'll just see like KC initials, and then like there'll be a thing like a note like on any other order where it's like, yeah, this was picked up, but it's just there's definitely something weird.
It's like customs didn't go through.
There's a different kind of thing going on. You get sort of the sense that maybe there's an arrangement where like this KC picks up orders and Vel just doesn't ask questions about them, and it just is all kind of quiet and under the table like, and it piques your interest. So you are keyed in on that, and that sort of takes us to the end of our first day. You really only need to overcome one more challenge, and you feel like you're on the cusp of finding something, because you weren't able to look through, like you heard Vel coming back, so you saw like there's definitely some information here, but then you had to leave the room real quick, so you couldn't quite get that last thing where like, where is he? Where's all this stuff going? You had to put it all away real quick, and you come out, and at this point, like again, the whole day has passed. So you all sort of reconvene, share knowledge amongst each other. You know that you're very close. You have a lot of clues. You know you're in the right area. You know he's close by. It's just a matter of finding him. You've aroused almost no suspicion, which is fantastic for all of you. And the end of the first day passes. Now, I will say that because normally people don't come into the area and people don't stay in the area, every day that you spend, you gain one awareness point. I don't think it's really going to matter in the long run because you have failed no checks and you have really caused no other suspicion.
Really good.
But I had a mechanic where the longer you spend, the more you just naturally accrue awareness, because nobody comes and stays in Tamary Field. So just being here in itself is a little bit weird. But so you wake up the next morning, you have one awareness point, but you're right on the cusp. of figuring out just what you need. If you could get back in that room, you might just find what you need. But Vel feeds you in the morning. It's a simple rustic meal of porridge and bacon, and there's even a couple of eggs.
Yum.
And what do you want to just go right back to it? Try to figure it out?
Yeah, as long as no other people kind of come in the... I mean, I stand out. I have...
Sure.
My face lights up.
You all stand out, yeah. You're all...
Given my own device... If I have to, I'll cast... what the heck is it called? Shadow Spy, which essentially makes like a raven or a falcon homunculus that can watch out for me, essentially. And I could like put that on her when she's outside and
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Go for it. Why don't you go ahead and just make that last check. We'll see how it pans out.
Ooh, that was almost real bad. That's going to be a 27.
27, yeah. So now that you've already picked the lock once, you just sort of wait for an opportunity to moment. All you need is a little bit more time with those records to find out what you need. So you wait until Vel's busy and you get back into that room. You begin pouring through the records, and eventually you find there's actually, he always comes and picks up the orders. But when you figure out that he must be, because of the information that Pipa and Hawk found, that he must spend a lot of time up in the woods to the northeast. You find he has another friend who knows him in the area, and you just sort of like, cross-referencing all of this stuff and the orders that he's bringing in and the times and the dates that he's coming to pick these things up. You guys have a very good idea of exactly where his little cabin must be, and you think that you have just enough that if you go to that area, you'll be able to find him and finally question him. You all have a much more specific area to investigate now than simply Cameron Field. So pooling all of your information that you collected on your very highly successful spy mission, you know that it's really just a matter of striking when you're ready. It's still early enough that you guys kind of set the scene now. You have a place to go. Are there any preparations you want to make? Do you want to plan anything at all? As far as you know, you really haven't erased anybody's suspicions. It's very likely he'll have no idea you're coming. Now that it's perfect. You're in the perfect position to strike. So what do you want to do?
I guess I just really quick want to clarify: is Moondusk Violet Glitter Sparkle Wishes with us, or is she still a child with a family?
She lives with the farm.
I was about to say, how did I get out of there? I just poof back into me and just fly out a window, and they're just while their backs
how
turned.
did you get out of there?
Exactly how I just described.
Okay.
They went to go bring me more food of this delicious food that they were just giving me, and they were like, "Don't worry, I'm gonna go grab you another plate." And they turned their backs, and I went boop, and right out the window.
Right out the window. Boom. They turn around like that
Roll for it.
mysterious
Roll
smile.
for it, Katie. Roll or it didn't happen.
Roll for boop. No, that's great. Yeah. So they just now have just a really weird story to tell. Maybe there's like a legend of a lost ghost child now.
A ghost child.
Oh God.
Child.
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 He's child.
Child. I think that's how it would be. Child. Help.
But what do you want to do? Yeah, you've collected what you need to collect. You have a place to go. You think you're on Killian's trail.
So, are we supposed to kill him, or are we supposed to bring him back to the witch? It's just a question.
We need answers. We need him to tell us about what Swiftwinds has been doing, to understand what's happening with the town, to see if Swiftwinds is at the, behind all this. The fact that we found his badge in that tree, part of me thinks he doesn't work for Swiftwinds anymore.
So he'd be willing to talk?
Possibly.
Okay.
Or more hesitant because he doesn't want to bring up that past. So we need to be as cautious as possible.
Okay.
But I do think sooner rather than later, so that we don't arouse any more suspicion, we make our way over to his place now that we've kind of pinpointed it. Keep a watch for him in the woods as we go, because we know he spends a lot of time there. But I think we need to go to him for answers. I pull out a very specific arrow. I'm like, this one shouldn't kill him. I mean, it might, depending on how well I shoot it. But the idea of this one is to trap him. So if he tries to get away, I'll be sure to use this one. Or, and I pull out the little net thing. I've got this net. I saved it from a fire.
I remember the net thing.
Right.
I don't think that wasn't very helpful last time.
I don't know. Maybe you didn't read the report. It kind of helped save the day. But I mean, I think it would be more helpful here. But I just want you to know I'm trying my best to not kill him.
Okay.
So we're gonna capture him and take him back to Chauncey. Or we're gonna ask him here.
I mean, I think whatever information we can get here, that's great, because who knows what could happen on the road. It was peaceful this way, but if people are looking for him, more answers earlier, the better. But happy to also get him to Chauncey, because a king has more power.
And we need to ask him about the ghost ma.
Mare.
Mare.
It's a mare.
Mare.
I look outside the
Ghost
window.
mare.
Mare.
What time is it?
Well, my next question to you guys is when you set out, like what time? I mean, really, the ball's in your court. So when do you want us? Do you want to wait for nighttime? Do you want to wait for the next day? Do you want it to be
7
early?
a.m.
Do you want it to be?
Jim, could I? Because he clearly spends a lot of time in the woods,
Yeah.
and if he is, it seems like I don't know what these packages are that he has coming in. But if he is spending a lot of time in the woods, I'm guessing he's getting a lot of his sustenance off of hunting and gathering. And as a fellow hunter and gatherer, could I know of you know what, he probably would have been out earlier in the day so that he could come back and prepare meals and things like that? Like, would I know when he would be back? Because we want to find him there. We don't want to be there and have him see us at his place. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I get what you're saying. You would guess that if it's a regular day where he's just going about his daily tasks, he probably does a lot of things early in the morning to basically you do your hunting early. That way you have meat for lunch and dinner. If he's doing it day by day kind of thing. If it's more of a recreational thing, or he's just planning to be out, you would guess that some of the people around here, sometimes you'll go out and just spend a week, out camping, doing your thing. So on any typical day, you would guess that he's probably gone early and then comes back sometime mid-morning to do more of the prep that he needs to do at his place.
Cool. So I would think we want to be there mid-afternoon.
So next day?
What time is it now?
I mean, that's what I was just asking.
I think it's still pretty early in the day.
Yeah,
I think we can do it today.
Does he know what we look like?
I don't know this
I don't
Killian.
think so. I don't know.
He wouldn't be like, oh, it's those guys, run away.
No.
You want to wear disguises?
I can do disguises.
Oh, me too.
I just... Okay. Not against it as a principle.
Should we bring him his mail?
Oh, it's a good point.
Matt.
Well, it's kind of weird.
We can pretend to be the mail people.
No, he comes here to get it.
No.
Yeah, I don't think we want to show him right off the bat that we know about his mail, especially if it's supposedly off the books.
What if we just each take a side of the house, and then he can't get out? Then we could burn it.
Well, now, I don't know if that's...
Well, you said kill him.
No, I said not kill him.
You said kill him.
Well, I was asking a question, because most of the time we kill people.
No, we don't. They just fall asleep.
HEI is complicated.
But HEI's not signing the checks on this one.
Oh, that's right. So we kill people.
Did we ever find out what's in his mail?
Did you look?
I would say you rolled well enough that you probably, if you wanted to have, you can. I mean, it probably wouldn't matter too much because, especially if you're going to act quickly, you could have if you would have ripped pages of the records to because you couldn't really make heads or tails of it. But if you want to examine more of try to figure out what was going on in there,
I don't want to leave any record that I was there.
Then you would, So you in the time that you had to examine the documents, you don't really know what was going back and forth, or you can't really glean any more information about it. If you wanted to have not left any kind of trail, taken anything that would be noticed, so you don't know.
Okay. Well,
so don't kill him. Get him in the afternoon.
yes.
And ask him questions, and then we eat his food.
Ooh,
Yeah.
maybe.
Well, because we'll be hungry.
Yes,
I have candy.
that's true. What about that secret plant thing you got?
Oh yeah. Let's save that for after.
Okay, or we can have give me a taste
Because
of
the weird slanty lady said you get messed up in the brain. With maybe that's why her house is crooked.
Okay, later.
So we go.
Celebratory.
Come on, Hawk. We're going. We're halfway down the road.
We are? We are! Let's go!
I catch up very easily.
Catch it very easily.
I hide our trail behind us. Just me and Peepa.
Sweep it.
Because that's what my friend Hawk would do.
I'm in Peepa's hair. So.
Okay.
You're always with people.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, if you're setting off, that's fine. That's good. Hawk, you I imagine kind of take the lead just because you and Peepa both spent a lot of time observing. You know the area actually pretty well. So you start marching. You make your way northeast, and eventually, after maybe another hour or two, you come to there's a sort of babbling creek, and next to that you find a squat cabin. Very sturdily built. There is a shed nearby. There's a small vegetable garden, and you see what looks like a dream catcher, but it's covered in like shards of colored glass, which you know would be something you put up to scare away birds, so they don't get into your business. And I would say this time you're in a position where like he had no idea anybody was coming. You raised like no suspicions on your way in, so I would say, you see this cabin in the distance, and you see movements. You all sort of like hunker down for a moment. You see this guy. Everybody make a perception check.
Okay.
Is it an important thing, Jim?
Well, I can't tell you.
Should I use a hero point
It's up
for
to
it?
you.
No, don't
whether you
use it,
want to
because I have a high perception.
I didn't do well.
28.
Well, adding 8 to my roll, I've rolled a 9.
I have an 18.
18. Peepa,
Yes.
you hear the sound of running water. Sounds like he's filling. He's got this like pump well,
I
and
must
he's filling
nutrient
up.
myself in
He's
it.
filling up a vessel of some kind.
Stick my hands in the water.
And as he's moving though, and as he's gathering up his water,
Oh, yeah.
he moves very oddly.
Oh, yeah.
And as you're watching him, you can see like you're pretty far away because you don't want to give away your position. You're just sort of observing him, but you're really high. And, he's moving kind of strangely, and you can see that like it looks like maybe one of his arms is a little bit long and one of his arms is a little bit short, but not like drastically, but just like you notice, you pick up on it. His face, like he has these like his neck, he has these like flat, like almost like folds of skin, but not like, but like almost like. At first you thought like almost like maybe like frills as part of his clothing or something, like maybe I don't know why he would be wearing something like that, but like then you see like his and it like moves and collects sometimes and almost seems to move of its own accord, but not as if he's making it happen, but almost like
Breathing?
maybe like breathing, but like almost like if you were watching, like if you, Diana, were watching like an anemone, right? And how like it just moves, but it doesn't seem like it's moving with any purpose. It's just like it has these movements.
just
it has like
living, yeah.
and like there's just something really weird about him. Like he moves weird, and his proportions are a little wrong. And he's got these weird like neck folds that like almost maybe like breathing. And it's just there's something off, and you can't identify it as any like, okay, well he doesn't look strictly human, he doesn't look like an elf or a dwarf, or like you can't like pinpoint like
What
he is.
species, yeah.
Like I don't know, something strange is going on here for sure. But he like gathers up his water and he heads into his cabin. He's doing his thing. He has no idea that you're there. I would say at this point, to avoid any notice going forward, you'll be making stealth checks and whatnot, unless you don't want to. But the floor is yours. You guys are in a controlled position here, so it's up to you how to approach this.
Hey, team, do you want me to fly over to the window and see what I can see?
Can you do it without being seen?
Yeah.
Well then, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, that seems like the easiest
I got
way
a
to
high
do it.
stealth.
Yeah. Make it. Go for it.
Okay, 13. That's going to be a 25.
25. That's pretty good. Let me pull up my stats and make a perception check.
I definitely thought she was gonna like make herself invisible.
Oh, I could have done that.
But what you do is you get up onto, like, you're basically like hanging onto this windowsill now. And there's enough of a ledge that you can like just sort of stand on it. Like, stand at the window, you press your face to the glass, look through. And you see this guy, and now you can see what I was describing to,
I tell you all that.
to Pipa. I mean, there's like, yeah, you can't tell like what, like he is a guy. He's a man. He's human, you think, but there are these weird like oddities about the way like he moves, and occasionally he'll just like start like he'll twitch a little bit, and you don't think all of these things are strictly voluntary, but they don't seem like he doesn't look like I don't know. He it's just something really weird. And as you're looking, you can almost see that like there's a line on one of his cheeks, and you're looking at it, and it looks like a really old scar. But the skin tones are different. Like his one cheek is like a different like shade of skin from like the rest of his face. And you notice that like one of his fingers is like that too, where like it's almost like, you know, it reminds you almost as if you had like taken somebody else's, like taken one finger off and put a different finger on. You just can't, like it's just everything about him looks almost like put together. And he has a lot of like, his clothes are very like patched, torn, sewn back together. It's all mottled, and he wears. It's currently like he's got the top of it down, but he wears like this very thick leather apron, and hanging on his belt these very very thick leather gloves. And he's got this water, and he's really looks like he's just sort of like prepping like breakfast or something right now. Like he's got like some food on the table, and he's just sets this jug of water down that he filled up, and he's sitting there. And make a perception check just to see what else you see in the room.
Ooh, 19. So that's going to be a 28.
28. Oh yeah. So you see a lot of different things. You see through the glass there are a lot of like jars and bottles, and like it's like a very very cluttered room. It looks like this whole place is maybe only like 2 rooms, because you see it's not very big, but you see on every surface, every table, every piece of furniture, there are all these jars. Some of them are just like big clay vases that are sealed. Other ones are small little bottles, and they're filled with like different colored liquids. Everything's sort of dirty and cluttered and grimy. But with your perception check, I will say you actually notice that one of the jars has like a bunch of bugs in it. There's like a whole bunch of like living bugs, and it's almost like a little terrarium. Like there's like stuff in there so they can live. There's another jar that has like a bunch of scorpions, but they're dead, and they're floating in this like suspension of like probably like formaldehyde. There's a terrarium with a snake in it. There's a bunch of jars of like different colored leaves, and one of them you even recognize as black leaves with like bright red veins running through them. You see a lot of this stuff. You want to make a nature check too on top of all this? See what else I can tell you about what you're seeing, because you're seeing a lot of stuff. But what do you know about it?
15 plus 9.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You can see that almost all of these things that you're seeing are very dangerous. You're thinking back to your time at Unicorn School, and like you see like all these mushrooms that are in this one jar, and you know that you never eat those mushrooms because they make you fall asleep forever. You look at like the bugs, and you're like, you don't mess with those bugs, because if they bite you,
You fall asleep for
well,
forever.
you don't fall asleep, but you get very sick, and you can't eat any candy for days sometimes. You look in like the snake, It's like you have to stay away from the snake and never ever frighten it or scare it, because if it bites you, it could make you sick. Like all these things are very, very dangerous. And he's just living among them. He doesn't seem to be concerned about this at all, but it's very, very dangerous.
I tell them, I'm going to flutter back over to Hawk and be like, you'll never believe what's inside. There's so many scary things and lots of really, really, really dangerous things.
Before you get back, unless you just flutter back, you could. Are you taking your time and being stealthy and quiet about it, or do you just leave?
I am so stealthy, Jim.
Okay, well then let's prove it with a dice roll.
Let's prove it. That's a 26.
26, okay, yeah. You are very stealthy.
But is she stealthy enough?
So you flutter back to your friends and you tell them what you see.
All the things.
Yeah.
I just don't even know how he can live in the same room with all those scary things. They'll make you fall asleep for forever.
Hold on, did you say that his finger was different than the rest of his hand?
Yeah, he kind of
His
looks like
claws?
he's injured and maybe we should help him.
No, it sounds like he's been put together by some, weird thing. Like he's putting himself together as different pieces of people or creatures.
That's really scary.
Putting himself back together.
Yeah. Did they tell you anything else about this Killian person? Just that we have to talk to him?
I mean, that's all we really knew. We heard the recording that mentioned his name. We knew he was connected to Swiftwinds. We feel like they're kind of trying to pull something right here. We know that they covered up the ghost mare.
Ma?
Mare.
Meh sounds like a sheep.
I mean, they go bah.
Or meh.
It's true. You raise a good point.
Should we just knock?
Well, you said these bad things are in jars.
Yeah, but they're inside, so I wonder if we can get him to come outside. We'll just be like, excuse me, hello, we're out here, come talk to us.
Ooh. Give me a minute. I can maybe get some more information from him.
How?
With my brain.
Can I watch?
Sure, if you could follow me.
Okay.
I'm gonna stealth check,
Okay.
Jim.
I go stealthing too.
All right.
Jeez.
I'm gonna hero point.
Hero.
Personal hero point. I don't roll as well as Katie.
I got lucky.
Boom! There it is. 31, Jim.
Okay.
I realize I have a +1 in stealth, so that's a 15.
Yay.
Oh, people. Okay. Where are you going precisely?
I'm gonna up to the window.
Okay, you get up to the window, and Peepa is crunching through the leaves behind you. But when you get to the window, you look through, and this guy's you see him slam down in this chair, and he just starts tearing into maybe a rabbit haunch he's got cooked up in there. He's just tearing it apart with his hands.
I do a thing where my eyes just above the sill, so the rest of my vibrant sea foam skin doesn't in the forest. I look at him for a minute, and I would like to read his aura.
Okay.
To get his general, I can learn his general state, health state.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
And conditions that affect him.
Sure. He is. I don't think there's anything that you detect that he's healthy. He's
Sorry.
he's not under the effects of anything that you can detect right now. Make a society or occultism check for me though, as you're looking at him. I should have had you guys make them too. You can make one too.
I'm gonna go occultism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1930.
30. Okay.
Yeah, you're 23.
So as you're looking at him and you see all these different things that I've described to the other two, you realize that you've heard about a process that some creatures undergo called flesh warping. And flesh warping is mostly the act of it's a lot like transmuting creatures, but you always flesh warp creatures are always intentionally crafted. They are either through alchemical experimentation or ritual magics, or sometimes like curses and whatnot can happen. But you create these flesh warped creatures. A lot of times, flesh warping is very dangerous and difficult and unpredictable. And many of the creatures that are sort of brought about through flesh warping are monstrous. If they survive at all, they're mindless monstrosities, and it's usually a very difficult process. But looking at him, he appears to be you see signs that he's an intelligent creature, almost very human-like.
So he has his
he seems to have faculties. Yeah. And it's very difficult to determine how he got like this. Who knows how this happened? It's very likely that he was a just regular human man who underwent some kind of transformative process and became this flesh-warped creature that you see before you.
Oh.
If I had a different spell. Okay. I'll drop to the ground and army crawl back.
Okay.
I army crawl back too.
That's gonna be one
Stealthily.
more stealth check from each of you.
You're just a plant.
I'm falling. I'm gonna use a hero point.
A hero.
Hero point. That's the same as. That's a 14.
26.
6. You know what I got on the perception check for this guy?
I'm blending.
13.
Oh my
So you're 14.
Oh my god.
There's enough that you just go
Wow.
back.
Wow.
Sneaky.
Sneaking right back. So you guys all regroup. What do you do?
Okay. So, I don't know if he's choosing to do this or it's being done to him. He is, pieces of his flesh are being replaced with,
Ooh.
usually rotten flesh
Ooh.
of other creatures. Sometimes they're like servants of the creator, necromancy magics, but he appears that maybe he's doing it to himself.
Or could it have been an experiment with Swiftwinds?
Swiftwinds could do it. They've got the people.
They were experimenting with a lot. This could have happened before everything that we've discovered.
Oh, and maybe it was happening to him at Swiftwinds, and he threw his badge into the hollow tree to say goodbye with it.
Maybe he got over, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why he lives out here in the woods by himself, because he's a monstrosity and people don't like different things.
It's definitely possible.
I like different things.
Well, I think we do need to be careful, though, because if it is all deliberate on his part, then we do have someone who hangs out with a lot of deadly things and is altering their body.
Ooh, he's in good health.
He's in good health.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants to be like that.
It could be that he's very much against Swiftwinds. The question, I think at this point, we need to approach him.
Yeah.
So far, he hasn't noticed us.
What if we tried 2 ways? All right, hear me out.
Okay.
Hawk goes up to the door, knocks on the door, is like, "Hello, I'm Hawk. I would like to talk to you about your former employment at Swiftwinds." And if that goes bad, we are around the corner ready to jump in and fight him. Or not kill him, whatever.
I mean, Hawk looks the scariest out of all of us. No offense.
But he's an old man. He doesn't have all of his teeth.
Okay, first off, yes, I do. You don't get to write that story for me.
No, look, right there, it's gone.
I have. It's a bit of parsley from breakfast.
He ate plants. Get him.
Val put them in. I did not choose it, but I didn't want to be a poor guest who turned away food. That would be disrespectful.
I'm gonna have some words with Val.
Yes, have them with Val later.
Use
Off
my
camera.
psychicness to pass blame.
Okay, now, but wait. Or we send Moondust, because she's so sweet and nice. Maybe he'll just be like, I don't know. Like, oh, a friendly person's
But
coming
maybe
to my
he's
door.
too nice. Maybe she's too nice. And
Wait,
There's no such thing
doesn't
as being
want
too
candy.
nice.
what if she did that whole I'm a lost child thing again?
Oh, yeah.
And then she just started asking him a bunch of innocent I'm a child questions.
Oh, yeah.
why? And why? And why?
Like,
that?
yeah, but why? What is that? What is that? What is that? Children do that.
Do you want me to do that?
It's an idea.
I mean, I can definitely cover Fram out here until she's inside, and then we'll have to move closer.
You could always pretend to be my dad and be like, oh, I'm so sorry, my daughter just ran off. And then you come, and then that's how you get there.
I have an idea. Is there a chimney?
Yes.
I could always float down from the chimney if we need to attack.
Was the fire lit?
I don't think he's gonna attack a kid.
Never mind.
Yeah, there's
What if?
come in.
What if?
Is there smoke? Never mind.
What if Moondust was selling candy for Unicorn Scouts?
Oh my goodness, that's the best idea ever. I used to have to do that in unicorn school. We would sell candy all the time to raise money for different clubs.
That's a good
That's
idea.
legitimate
But
and
why would...
clearly a thing.
And then when I'm gone for too long asking too many questions, my dad can show up looking for me and go, oh, I'm so sorry, sir. My daughter just ran a little too far away. See, it's the perfect plan.
And then we kill him.
No, we don't kill anyone.
We have to ask questions.
We ask questions.
I asked about the killing. It's not happening.
And I'll ask him all about the scary things in his house.
Sorry, Hawk, what would you like to do?
have more control over this group?
So would you like to talk to him?
I mean, I just thought that the whole lost child thing was a good idea, and then it just escalated to
No, it's-
unicorn candy.
It's yes anding.
No, I understand what improv is.
Yeah.
But
Well, you decide. I can be a lost kid, or I could be a kid selling candy. It doesn't really matter.
I mean, my very cautious, I might have my soul possessed by a demon soon or something, self thinks that the lost child could get more answers out of someone.
Great, let's do it. I use my disguise and immediately turn into a child again.
All right.
And I'm gonna walk toward the door.
Okay.
Okay,
Wait, where are we gonna be?
but as you see me walking, Moondust is so used to fluttering everywhere, so you kind of see this kid like take a couple steps to like hop.
To fly?
Yeah, I can't fly.
People ask a good question. What do we just?
I mean, Moondust is going, so position yourself.
I'm
you
going
have
to
like
stealth
seconds. 'cause
towards
she's
a
just
window.
moving. She's sneaking towards the window. Make a sneak stealth check.
No, it has to be.
I'm supposed to be lost.
Oh my god. Can I use a hero point?
Yes, use one of our group ones. You already used your personal.
Oh my god, it's like 14.
I won't count that one because it's not in the box. Okay. Yeah, you're crunching through the leaves. Where are you positioning yourself?
I'm behind a tree.
Okay.
Like that would have an eyesight from the door, but I'm a few trees in. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you're basically staying back, but you
Yeah.
want line of sight to the door.
To the door
Which is the front
specifically
door.
watching.
I won't even have you make a stealth check because you're far enough away that that's fine.
I panic for a little bit because I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
which way to go. I like lean up against the fentanyl, and then I just like drop to the ground and flatten and stealth in place.
Okay. Stuck in here.
What? 17 plus 11, 28.
So you're lying on the ground. You're laying in the tree. Peepa, you
So good.
see Moondust running up, and you're like, so you rush up to the building, and you get down real quick, but you actually like hit the building, like you like slump down next to it, and you just as that happens, like you can like peek in the window, and you see the guy. He like sits up and he's looking. He's noticed something's weird, so he starts walking. And he doesn't like come out to the window and like he doesn't spot you, but like he knows something's up, so he goes over to the front door. Moondust, you are just getting up on the door, and the door opens, and this guy is standing there, and he's looking, and he sees you, and he seems shocked. And he's like looking around outside. He's like, that was you, was it?
Yeah.
What? What do you want?
I'm sorry.
Why are you here?
I'm sorry to bother
How
you,
old are you?
Mister. My name is Meepa. And
How old are you, Meepa?
between 5 and 8. says not to tell details about myself to strangers, but I had to come here because I lost my dad.
Make a deception check.
Okay, 9 plus 16. 23.
25.
25. He's like, your dad, where's your dad?
Oh, I don't know. We were in the forest doing some foresty things, and then he turned around. And
What's
he
your
was
dad's name? I don't know you. I haven't seen you about, and I know everyone who lives around here.
My dad's name is Hawk.
Give out your dad's real name, but not your own.
That's because he wouldn't believe a kid's name is Moon Dust Glitterfist.
I don't know any Hawk.
Um,
Why are you here, child?
well, I'm not.
What's that? And I like point behind it like one of the really creepy things. That's the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Okay. Don't worry about that. And he actually he steps outside and like closes the door behind him. Just where did you see your dad?
In the forest where I lost him. What was that scorpion thing inside of there?
Listen. That path there, any point, is that path there. If you follow it, will take you back to the inn. This is not a place for a child.
Well,
Go.
what's your name?
Make a diplomacy check
Okay.
this time. Let's see.
Ooh.
What is it?
Okay.
That's a 30.
Okay.
1.
Nice.
You see, he gets a little exasperated. He's like, you call me Killian.
That's a really fun name.
It doesn't listen. Are you listening, child? You have to follow the path back to the inn.
Follow the path to the weird. What's those scorpion things that you had in your house? What are you doing with them? Do you collect bugs? I had a bug collection one time, but my dad made me get rid of it because.
Child. Reaper. Stop. I
just want to know about your bugs.
it's nothing. It's adult things you wouldn't understand. You're a child. You don't need to know about them. They're dangerous.
Am I close enough to like hear the conversation?
Make a perception check and see how much of this you can pick up.
Let's see. 20?
20? Okay, yeah. Yeah, you're catching bits of it. You can tell, like, you get enough to get, like, his tone and demeanor. You actually watching him, like, he's, like, keeping it on her, but he's also, like, looking out a lot. Like, he seems really nervous, and he's, like, looking around. And he seems a little bit more at ease now. He's paying more attention just to Moondusk, Glitter Violet Sparkle Wishes at this point, because she's, like, sort of caught his attention.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to, like, he seems a little bit less on guard than he was at first. And you're catching sort of the gist of what he's saying, but you're still far enough away that like there's probably some nuances that escape you. But he's like, no, stop. What? Where did you last see your? How long have you been lost?
It feels like forever.
No. Stop. How long?
Like
Was
a
it this
whole
morning?
month.
Was it a month?
I don't know.
What? Are you,
I went out to the forest with him this morning, and then we were
It's this
having so
morning.
much
Okay,
fun.
yes.
And
What
we saw
were
all
you
these
doing?
cute bugs. Speaking
stay-
of bugs, how come you have so many bugs? Do you have any other bugs besides those cool scorpions?
I have lots. Don't worry about the bugs.
Do you have more bugs? Can I see them? Please, please. I need to look at bugs for a school
Will you
project.
stop? Will you stop if I show you the bugs?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Come in.
I go in.
Okay, he like throws open the door and like storms in, and he like actually grabs you by the shoulder and like sits you at this chair. He's like, "Stay here, don't touch anything."
Okay.
And he grabs this jar of it looks like dragonflies and he like sets it down. He says, "Look, all right, the bugs,
What kind of bugs?
the emerald dragonflies.
What do they do?
They sting and bite.
Why do you
so
have them?
Don't touch. They're for my work.
What do you do?
I collect bugs."
Why?
outside, like after Katie or after Moondust goes in, I wanna look because I know Hawk behind me somewhere. Go, Hawk. What was the rest of the plan? what, they're in now. Try and get closer. Okay. Then I'll start army crawling up to the front door again.
To the front door.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, make a stealth check.
I'm gonna get all the answers.
27.
27. Okay, yeah, you crawl up towards the door. It's gonna take you a minute to get there. Is anybody else doing anything outside?
I'm just watching through the
You're just
window.
watching. Okay, so you see Peepa is like sitting at this chair, and this guy's like
Meepa.
Meepa is sitting at the chair, and this guy like you can sort of hear muffled like he's their conversation. Is there anything else that you want to do while you're just observing?
I'm just observing them, and then I want to observe like behind them in case something like comes out of the shadows.
Sure. And then Hawk, is there anything specific?
Yeah, I think I'll try and get closer. Is there any other point of cover from like where I've been in the woods before? Like is there much of a clearing? Does he have a cart or like a well?
You could get a little bit closer. There's a shed nearby, but you won't have as good of a view at the door if you go to the shed. There's a little bit of a break in the trees before his place, but aside from that, there's not a lot of like cover. Like you can get a little bit closer and still be in the trees, but the returns on it are because it's not really going to give you any more of a better view or anything.
Okay.
So there's not much of a return on that.
Well, here I'll try and stalk closer to the house as well, and I'm going to try and get opposite side of the wall, kind of from where Peepa is, maybe.
So you want to go around the other side of the house?
Yeah, I mean, like if there's the front door and she's like near one window, yeah, I can hug the other side of the house. I have something called Shadow Mark.
Okay.
So you take a -2 penalty to know that I'm like following you or trying to get up there.
Okay. Go ahead and make your check, and I will account for the -2 on my part.
All right, come on.
Arrow point?
Well, it's a soft 20 as is with a 6 on the dice. I'll hold on to a soft 20. We'll see if that works.
Soft one.
It's a 20. Oh,
No,
finally.
don't let him get in there.
It's a bold choice to hold on to that soft 20 because as Meepa is sitting there and he's like, "Child, stop talking for just 1 second. I thought you said you would calm down if I showed you the bugs. Now listen,
Yeah, but why do you have all these bugs?
it's for my work.
Well, what do you do?
I collect the bugs.
Why?
I study them
Why?
because they're very interesting."
I like
He says, he goes over to the counter. He says, "Do you want some cocoa, child?"
Yeah.
What?
Excellent.
Tell us.
And he starts pulling stuff out of cupboards. He's like, "Just hold on a moment and watch the bugs and tell me if they're talking to each other. Sometimes they talk to each other. You have to be very quiet to hear them.
Your
Listen
bugs can
quietly.
talk? That is
Only
so
to
crazy.
each other, but you have to be very quiet to hear them."
But how come you have so many bugs?
And then he stops because he sees a shadow move across one of the windows. And he says, "Who else is with you, child?
Nobody's.
Don't lie to me."
I'm not lying. I was looking for my dad.
Can I roll
Is
a
it my
perception?
dad?
Can I roll a perception to hear? Do I hear what's happening inside, like the yelling and like who's with you, child?
Roll a perception check.
28.
Yeah, you hear him yell, and you actually hear a crash because he, as he's standing, he was grabbing things from counters and he was like putting them all in this mug, and then he stops what he's doing, and he turns on you, and you can see that he has his hand on a knife that was on the counter, and he says, "What are you doing here?
I just want to know why you have all the bugs.
Stop
Honey!
lying to me."
Honey, where are you?
Dad, it's my dad.
Sorry, did my excuse me? Did my daughter come through here?
Make a deception check.
Oh dear Lord!
I want to be ready if I hear things clacking off.
Yeah?
I want to kick in the door and
Give you my
cast
hero
a spell.
point.
I've got one. I'm using my hero point. Here's my hero point, Jim. Here it is. Oh, it's the same thing now!
Wait, use that one.
Can I double
can't
here?
double
I can't
up
double
hero
hero points. So with an 8 on the die for that deception, it is an 8.
And
Oh
eight.
my
I don't lie.
He looks at you and he says, I don't know what kind of trick this is, but you're coming with me. And he runs over, he grabs you and like hauls you off the chair and starts making his way across the room. You see that there is a trap door in the floor. At this point, I think we should probably just roll initiative. And see how things
I'm being kidnapped.
Oh, and now I get the natural 20.
No! Can I hero point? Oh, should I?
You can hear initiative, I believe.
Everyone, because I was using, the last thing I used was perception to hear what was happening inside. When I use perception to roll initiative, you get a scout's warning.
We need
You get a scout's warning, so you get a +1 to your initiatives.
Nice.
So
Oh, thank you.
I'll probably yell, like, just having heard everything, like, it's going south! And so, like, you all know, like, we gotta get into action.
Okay.
Initiative for Moondust is 16.
Meepa.
Meepa.
Me.
Hawk,
33.
33. Dang, Hawk.
Finally got the net 20.
Wow.
Me too.
Peepa.
24.
24 for Peepa. And Flotsam.
With Hawk's bonus, 29.
Jeez, guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, Hawk, you are first to go. Now, you had positioned yourself sort of at a window opposite where Peepa was going. You are currently looking into it looks like a small, like dingy bedroom.
Okay.
There's an open doorway that goes out into that main area where he is, and you can hear him like stomping through the area. But you don't currently see him, but you see this room. You see into this room, and you heard him, and you know that there's another window like 5 feet away that looks into the kitchen area, and you know like that's where he spotted you from. So like you could step over to that window to get a line of sight on him. But the windows are pretty small, and they're like at you're like right here on you. So yeah.
I don't think, I know, look, Hawk is a man with a bow, but I think he wants to get closer into closer quarters.
Sure.
And so he's going to run for that front door.
Okay.
I actually have, I have a feat that helps me move further faster. So
I would say one of your actions, you could get to the door. I mean, you can walk around the house to the door with another action. It's closed, you'd have to take an action to open it, and then you've got a third action to do as you please.
So I've got the door open, and do I see them?
Yeah, now you can see, and he's like dragging Meepa across the room.
And do I have, how far away is he? Because it's not that far.
I would say he's only maybe 15 feet away, 10 feet away from you. It's a very small room. He's probably 10 feet away from you. The table is between you and him. So if you were going to try to attack him, I'd say he probably gets a little bit of cover just because you can't really see the bottom half of him.
Well,
but it's almost negligible.
With my quick draw action,
I
will draw my spring-loaded net launcher.
Net launcher.
And I will shoot the net at him.
Okay. And just so you know, he's got Peepa with him. Or not Peepa, he's got Meepa with him. So the net will cover them both.
Yeah, last time I used the net, the same thing happened. Yeah.
Just net everything.
So, you know, it's just kind of what happens.
So fire the net launcher.
All right, standard ranged attack roll with a 12 on the dice. That is a 28.
28 is...
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's you net him.
So he is netted.
Okay. So remind me what that does.
So he it's not attached to a rope. I believe it takes a 10-foot circumstance penalty.
To his speed, yeah.
Anyone gets a 10 foot. He's flat-footed.
Okay.
Until it escapes 10-foot circumstance penalty. I did not get a critical hit, right? So it is
No.
Otherwise, it would be immobilized.
Right, no. So
And then there is an escape DC of 16.
16 for the escape DC? Okay. Watson, you're next.
I will, hearing it's gone south, and I imagine
You're basically like, I would say you were, because you had army crawled forward too, so I would say we'll put you right at the porch. You're like right behind Hawk. Because he marched up to the door and threw it open. You're like, you'd crawled right up to the porch.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
unless you wanted to be somewhere else.
No, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. That actually solves a lot of things. With my first action, you see Flotsam just kind of flick his left wrist, and this charm that's been tied around. I mean, you're used to charms on him, but this charm that comes around kind of lands in his hand and does a little clangle as he catches it, and he's just holding on to it. At the same time, he like locks eyes with this guy dragging Meepa away as I cast Teeth to Terror upon him.
Okay.
Let me read the description to you, Jim.
Yeah, tell me
that
about
sounds
Teeth
scary.
Terror.
The target believes its teeth are falling out, crawling along its face, stabbing into its body, and cramming themselves down its throat. The target takes 2d4 mental and 1d4 persistent, and has a -1 to mouth attacks, bite attacks. He gets a will save. DC 22.
DC 22.
I just took the mental damage.
Yeah, that's why I did it. Psychics get some weird things, dude.
All right, that is a failure on the will save.
So he's gonna take 2d4 mental damage, which is 5 total.
Okay.
And 2 persistent mental.
2 persistent. You're just going to continue taking persistent damage. Okay.
And if you count the flipping as an action, okay. If not, I would like to use the Thaumaturge ability of Glimpse Vulnerability.
Well, you had previously described yourself as army crawling. So
Yeah.
So you could do anything else with your third action, but I'm just letting you know that if that's
Yeah,
true,
I'm on
that
the
you're
ground.
also on the ground.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good plan.
You want to be on the ground? That's fine. You can be on the ground.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, let me ask you this: Did you mechanically have to draw something to cast the spell? Like, did you need to spend an
You
action?
were holding your implement to
So
do
if
the
you needed to
Glimpse
draw, you didn't necessarily have your implement drawn
Okay.
out before, so I would
All
say
right, so
yeah,
then
you need to-
now it's in my hand. Got it. Thaumaturge is new to me.
Then you draw forth your implement, and that'll be the end of your turn. It is now his turn next. He is in a net. He actually lets go of you immediately because he's like, now he's like, what's going on with my face? He's like choking. He's mentally choking on his own teeth. He is going to try to throw the net off of him with his first action, which succeeds. So he throws the net off, spending 1 action. He's let go of you, which is a free action. He's just reaches down and rips up this trap door, and he just dives down below, like he just falls. And you actually see him like fall down some stairs.
I don't fall with him.
No, because he let go of you.
Okay.
And then he like stumbles to his feet and like disappears. Like he goes downstairs into some place below. And that is his. Those are all 3 of his actions. So what I'm going to do here is a little bit of a weird thing, because he gets out of sight. I'm actually going to sort of just pause initiative for now to get some reactions from you. Tell me what you guys want to do. If we get back into another encounter, we'll just keep the exact same initiative order and we'll go from there. But I think it'll be easier if we just put it on pause and like he disappears down this trapdoor. What do you want to do?
I mean, I think we follow him, right?
Yeah,
He's the one with the
yeah.
answers.
Scramble in and
I would switch back to Moondust.
Okay, so
and
you
fly after him.
okay. Does it take any time to dismiss that spell or no? Does it not say?
It just lasts an hour.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So if it's
it'll take
let me ask you this: can you dismiss that spell? Does it dismiss it?
It'll take a minute's worth of that persistent if we're breaking
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Hawk just switches. He'll grab out that special arrow with hopes of like tracking him down and hitting him
Yes.
with that next.
You can dismiss the spell.
Okay. Then yeah. So you dismiss the spell.
We didn't
Just mechanically, so with the persistent damage, I took the flat check on the first one, so I'll take 1 round of persistent damage. But persistent is DC
doesn't
15.
say anything. You get a chance
No,
to
it says,
save
but that's the way persistent damage works.
Paizo.
Is that it's a DC 15
Paizo
flat
wants me to
check.
hurt you, Jim.
It's a DC 15 flat check
They say-
and persistent
No,
damage.
but-
So I'm just showing you that on the first turn, he takes the first 2 points and then he resists the rest.
All
of
right,
it.
I'm gonna do other things and force your teeth down your own throat.
Absolutely can. I'm just like that's that's the way it works. At the end, when you take that's the way it happens. So you're just going right down?
I want to go down, but I want to be like talking to him.
Okay. Well, what we need to do is there's some tablets on the table with Roll20 booted up on them, because if you're going down the stairs, we're going to turn to our map, and we're gonna play it out there.
Wherever you want. It doesn't matter to me.
It's a map. It's a map.
So there's this sharp set of stairs that go down. They're L-shaped, and from the way that the outside and the upper floor look, you would expect that you would be descending into something like a root cellar, like a dirt floor, and maybe some stones like supporting the walls. But instead, you end up in this big finished room, almost something like an underground bunker. You see that there is a door at the bottom of the staircase. Like when you come off the staircase, you'd be facing a door, but then to your right, you would see that there is an open door that leads into another room beyond. And you actually hear, you hear movement and like stumbling around coming from that open doorway to the north. I guess what we'll do is actually just go right back into initiative now, because we're going to get into the business. You are all currently arranged with Hawk and Moondust up front, which makes sense to me because Moondust, you said you wanted to be up front. But you guys can sort of on the staircase. Tell me how you want to be arranged. It might be difficult to move your tokens on the tablet, but I can move you too if you need me to. I will say Moondust is right at the bottom of the stairs because she was, first diving in there. Hawk. Where do you want to be?
Yeah, I'll just be right with her, just right at the bottom of the stairs,
Right
following
along.
along.
Okay.
As fast as she's
Flotsam.
moving.
If I can get off that landing and down, it'd be fine.
Sure,
I'm okay being in the front.
Okay.
Like,
well,
in
I can just
area.
arrange you at the bottom of the stairs like that. And
Yeah.
you're good to go.
I just
okay.
know he wants to be more ranged.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick up
don't
initiative
want her
right
getting
where we
hit,
left off, and I'm going to say it's currently Peepa's turn,
Aye. Okay.
and you're standing there behind some of your friends.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you do?
Can I, excuse me, actually make a perception check to see what we're seeing?
Yeah. So you
right
spend
now?
one of your
Yeah.
actions to make a perception check. Go ahead.
Okay. What is it? That is 18 plus 13. A lot.
18 plus 13 is 31. So you hear some movement up in the room that you can't see, but you also hear like some cursing, and you hear a friend like get out, and shortly after that you hear this like almost like cracking and creaking sound. In this room, you don't notice anything else of like particular value or anything, or anything. You don't see anything dangerous here immediately.
So I'm gonna whisper to the group, he's got company. And then for my last action, I'm gonna reach out, touch Hawk, and cast guidance.
Guidance. Okay, give Hawk some guidance. After Peepa's turn would be Moondust, who had her violent sparkle wishes.
I just want to be yelling after him.
Okay.
Like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to trick you, but we're not here to hurt you. We just have a couple of questions, I promise. We don't want to hurt you. And then I'm going to just keep flying forward.
Okay. Where do you want to move?
Careful.
Toward
do you wanna
where
be?
he went.
You
I
wanna
can only
go?
move
Okay.
20 feet, so move me
Yeah.
20 feet closer to him.
Move you fun 20, so I'll move you up to the door.
Great.
There. Let's see. That would get you 5, 10, 15, 20 feet. I mean, you have 2 more actions. Your yelling doesn't really cost any actions. So you get up to the door. We'll say you get up to the door. You're looking in. You hear him like stumbling around, and you hear again. Now that you're at the doorway, you can hear this like snapping and popping sound, almost like creaking and cracking, and also this like.
Do I see it?
There are some shelves in the way, but like you hear all this movement from where you currently are, you don't see anything, but you have 20 feet.
Can I stealth my way to the shelf?
Yes, so you'll move half speed at stealth, so go ahead and roll a stealth check.
Yeah.
19 plus 12.
Okay.
30.
31.
You get up to the shelf so that you can peek around it. And now you see some business. You are looking in there and you see it's these. So, anyway, sorry, I'm gonna go back a second. The room has several long shelves. You can see it on the shelves. There's all these books and files and scrolls. And you don't really have time to pay attention to those because you're looking around for the source of this noise. You see Killian, but between you and Killian, you see two of these weird, bent, thin figures, but they have this really rough, bark-like skin, and they are like moving around and looking around. They haven't spotted you because you rolled fantastic perception, but Killian is like pointing towards the door. He's like, "Kill out everyone in that room," and they're like
Rude.
starting to turn towards the room and like stumble forward. You have one more action left.
You're not in that room though, so you're good.
That's true. Yeah, I'm gonna stay hidden on that shelf. And that's it.
Yeah, you forego that third. I would say one thing that you could do that would be a use of an action that wouldn't cost you anything. You could try to make a check to see like what you know about these creatures.
Yeah, that. Nature?
And if you wanted to do that, it would be nature or
Lore
religion.
unicorn.
Actually, no, lore unicorn's not going to do it.
One day.
She already got her lore unicorn hero
16.
moment. 16. Yeah, you're not quite sure what these things are, but they look really weird. They almost look like as they're getting closer, maybe they're made out of wood, but also not. Like they also seem to have skin. It's really, really weird, and you're not sure what they are.
My friend
they don't
Peepa would
look
know.
friendly. They don't look happy. So that was your third action, which takes us to the top, or that one of the creatures actually at the end of the round starts walking down the other side of the shelf, and let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. You all in the other room see this weird wooden shambling creature come stumbling out of the room that Moondust just disappeared into, and it like immediately like sees Hawk at the bottom of the stairs and just starts stumbling for him. It's going to take 2 of its actions to get up to him, but then with its third action, it is going to slash at him with this like weird, like almost like tree limb hand. And it is going to hit an armor class of 26, sorry.
Yes, Jim, you've done it.
I've done it.
You've
I've done
begun
it.
your demise of my character.
So it comes in and just batters you. You are going to take 10 points of bludgeoning damage, and this thing is just like, and it looks like it's going to keep coming at you, but that was its third action, so it doesn't have anything else it can do this round.
Cool.
So now we go to the top of the next round, and it is Hawk's turn.
Okay. So Hawk is going to kind of do a flourish to just like again do that archer thing where you're holding an arrow
Yeah.
and the bow. But he's gonna use his quick draw to pull out his kukri
Okay.
because this thing is just right here, and he's going to just slash at it, try and trim the hedges, as it were.
Slash away.
How dare you?
How dare you?
+1. You have guidance.
I have guidance, which is going to make that a total of 33 to hit.
33 is a critical hit.
Yeah. Which means I'm going to roll 2 of them D6s. Let's see. I never
Make
have to
it
roll.
sleep for forever.
Make it sleep for forever. So that's 6 plus 1, right? I get that on that as well.
No, guidance doesn't give a +1.
No, sorry, perception saving throws instead.
I double my strength bonus though.
Yeah,
as
you
well.
double all the damage, basically.
So it's 8 total.
8 total points of damage. You cut into this thing, and it's like you just like whack your kukri right in. It's almost like hitting rotting wood. It sinks in and it gives, but there is still this like solid mass to it. And when you pull the kukri back, all of this weird like putrid green sap starts spilling out of the wound. But the creature like doesn't react to the attack. Like you obviously hit it. It doesn't react in like any way like it feels any kind of pain. It's still just like it's just gonna like come at you full force. So you've only used one action yet because you quick drew. So what do you do next?
I mean, a kukri has agile and finesse. One of those means that
One of those means it's a -4 on the second
-4.
attack.
So I'm going to keep going. Do I still get the +1?
It's only on one roll.
One
for
roll, okay.
guidance.
Well, with a 23, Michael Jordan,
Yeah, that's a hit.
that's a hit. Okay, so I will only roll 1d6 this time for a total of 3 damage.
3 points of damage. So you've dealt 11 so far.
Yes.
And you just like you hit the same place again, and a chunk of this thing like comes off. It's almost like you're just hacking at a rotting log. Almost, you're just like pieces of it are coming off of it. More of that putrid green sap is starting to spill out of it.
Sorry, Peeper.
It's not me, it's okay.
Is the trip action different from an attack action?
No, the trip action has the attack trait, so it still counts as it would be a third attack if you were to do a trip.
Okay. Then I think I'll just try and keep hacking away. I don't think putting it on the ground is going to do me any favors right now. So with the 15 and the agile means it's a -8. -8. -8. So 14 minus 8 is 6, which means it's a total of 21.
So I want to say hit.
Yeah!
Nice.
With the kukri for another 3 damage, so a total of 14 damage this turn.
All right, yeah. So I mean, you're just like hacking and hacking and hacking, and you hit thump, thwap, thump, and you're just like chips of rotting wood are flying everywhere. There's a horrible smell. The more of this sap that flows out of it, there's this horrible smell filling the room. You can smell like rot and decay, and you can see this creature is like not at all paying attention. It's not reacting like a living creature might to a wound. It is just like mindlessly coming at you. But we move to Flotsam's turn.
I will step up past Peepa
Okay.
to be kind of in front of her.
Okay. So you take it. You want to be right next to this creature.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I want to be like, in a Hallmark movie, right before they kiss, I want to grab and like get real close to its face, and then produce flame and
Produce flame.
and flaunt it.
Now, while many creatures in this game do not have an attack of opportunity, these guys do.
That's fine. That's fine.
So it is going to, as you begin to cast your spell, it almost like without thinking or even turning to you, it just like lashes out just to
But
wrap you.
as it does that, Jim,
Oh,
you hear a little clangle.
a little clangle.
A little clangle.
Okay.
As a disrupting harmony echoes forth from my thaumaturge bell.
Okay.
Triggers a strike. You create a strangely discordant harmony that sinks into your foe's mind. Will save against my class DC or become enfeebled one or clumsy one until the end of my next turn.
A will save?
A will
The
save.
trigger for this is when something attacks you?
Trigger is the target of your vulnerability thing.
You haven't,
I haven't done that
you
yet.
haven't done that yet. I will
lied.
not. There will be no
I lied.
clingle on this day.
We'll be ready for my clingle clangle, Jim.
There will be no clingle.
Thaumaturge is
It is going
hard.
to try to whack you
Dang it.
with a root, actually, like from below, like this like root like reaches out and just.
If it hits me, I'm gonna go, I blame Peepa.
Why?
That is
root.
going to be a 29 to hit.
That's gonna hit. It's not a critical.
That's not my route. Can't blame me.
And the root is going to deal some bludgeoning damage. That is going to be 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
That's a lot
as
of
it
damage.
Smashes into you. But I don't know if that disrupts your spell or not. I don't know. We usually don't deal with disrupting spells.
Well, it's a spell attack. I don't know.
Still,
yeah.
well, we have to
You
cast
tell
the
me.
spell to
Yeah.
attack with it. So.
You tell me what you want.
Tell me what you
But
want.
did he attack yet? Because the reaction would have been him moving into the
Well,
space, yes?
No,
The
it's
reaction was
the
the
beginning of
spellcaster.
the. I start to manipulate the elements around me as I prepare to strike forth at this woodland tree abomination, and I get smacked with a root.
Yeah, I think you lose the actions.
I
So,
lose
yeah,
I don't even
you
get
lose the
a
spell.
save.
Wow.
I mean, that's usually just not how. I mean, that's like a carryover. From,
No, you get in first edition, you would get a concentration check.
like how spicy he's getting.
I'm just saying, because you just negated my entire turn.
Well, it's an attack.
The entire turn?
The entire turn. Yeah.
Well,
The actions attack.
Because it's a 2-action spell. I moved, 2 actions just got negated.
You got whacked. I'm sorry.
I'm just
It's an
saying.
Attack of opportunity. You got whacked.
I
No,
forgot spells do 2 actions. 'cause
that's fine.
I can
That's
do
fine.
so much.
You got. That's what happens.
Whatever, Jim.
I don't know. Yeah.
Just remember this.
Okay, please remember it.
Just remember.
Remember it for all
People
time.
will whop it.
It is now the other monster's turn. No, it's Killian's turn.
Oh.
Killian, you actually are the only one who can see Killian. And he is up in that room, and he grabs like some stuff from his belt, and he like puts it into this like he has like this flask. He starts shoving stuff in there. And he shakes it up. He starts drinking it. And you're not sure what happens, but he drinks all this stuff. And that is all he's gonna do this round. Peepa, it's your turn.
I would like to do a nature check on this thing.
Yes, nature away.
Nature, all over. 11 plus 13, 24.
24. You are looking at a sight that fills you with a little bit of dread and probably a deep amount of sadness. Because this is a creature in life. They are a people called arboreals. And they're like you, plant people, plant like people. They have a society and culture, and they look like what people call trees. You know, they don't necessarily consider themselves trees, but they're tree people. But this one, you can like the rot and they are subject to undeath, much like other humanoids. And this appears to be an undead arboreal. They call them arboreal snags.
Ooh.
You said your total was what?
What did I say? 11 plus, what did I say, 23?
23?
11 plus
Okay.
nature.
Do
No,
you
24.
Wanna, do you want to learn about an offensive thing or a defensive thing about it?
Offensive.
Offensive. You know that if it takes any piercing damage, that green pus that leaks out of it will like explode out of it and can sicken anybody that like gets hit with it. So like, that piercing it almost like causes these like pustules inside its bark to erupt. So you don't want to pierce it.
Okay, don't pierce it! Hawk!
Oh, I've been slashing it.
Okay, good. I'm just
I'm a
letting
good
you know.
boy, I am.
Just in case.
Thank you.
I guess I'm going to... I have 2 actions left, correct?
Yes.
What is around the room that, like, I can chuck at it?
I mean, there's I don't know, if you want a piece of debris, you find something.
Or I can even use
Sure,
his own
okay.
bark. Couldn't I?
There's a piece of it. That one, it's kind of rotting and like weak wood. You want a rock? You can throw a rock at it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a rock at it.
Okay.
What?
Okay. So make your spell attack. Now, currently, you're standing right next to it. Now, because
I'm
it has already used its reaction, so it doesn't have another reaction to its next round. But just keep this in mind for future turns. If you're standing right next to it and you cast a spell, you just saw it hit him after casting a spell, so you know it has it has an attack of opportunity that you can use. But it's already used its for the round, so you're currently safe casting a spell right next to it.
25.
25 to hit, and that is a successful hit.
Yeah.
Roll damage.
Okay. That is not very good. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11 points of damage combined with his is. Let me
was
double
like
check my math. I think
14.
it's starting to look pretty weak. You can see like huge chunks of it have been blown off. If it were a living arboreal, it might even just succumb to its wounds. But because it's driven by undeath, it is still manages to it's still on its feet, but it is very badly wounded.
Okay.
But that'll take us to one of these creatures' turns that's still in the room. And it is going to start stumbling forward. Here it comes. Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. So it's going to use all of its actions just to go basically get up to Hawk. But it has to walk all that way and has no additional actions to use. So it just gets up to you guys, leaving you alone in the room with Killian Cray. And your friends facing off against these weird undead tree people. After that, it is your turn, Ghost.
I would like to flutter toward. Is there a way I can hop over to the other bookshelf and still see one of the creatures through the door? Perhaps one that hasn't been.
No, if you want to get back into the only way that you're going to be able to see those creatures through the door is if you get into that other room.
Just see him through the door.
Well, the door is
Sorry,
thing is here, and you're on that. There's no door over here. That's a wall.
The door.
Okay.
Door is here. You're here. Door is here.
Okay. I will then flutter back toward the room.
Which room? North or south?
Sorry, the one. I basically want to follow the guy that just spent.
Yeah, you want to go back out? Okay, so you want to go back out where you were. That's fine.
But I want to do it stealthily.
Yeah, you can. You're allowed to stealth.
Great.
Ain't nobody stopping you doing that.
That's an action.
Yeah, you just move at half speed when you're stealthing.
Great. Ooh, 9 plus 12. 21.
21. Okay.
Nine.
We're making some checks.
Some checks, Jim.
Nobody seems to notice as you get. It says 5, 10. You're back in the room. One action gets you back in the room.
Great.
And you're just
And
standing in the
then-
doorway.
I want to cast
Okay.
Moonlight Ray
Okay.
on the one that just spent its whole action, hasn't been
Yeah.
hit.
Okay.
Fresh boy.
Fresh boy.
Fresh boy.
Okay.
So, this is a ranged attack.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to attempt to hit you.
Okay. Attempt away.
17 on the die plus 12.
29 is
20.
critical hits. Critical hits. Tell me about Moonlight Ray, because I have a feeling I know enough to know that I'm probably about to get melted.
So what's fun about this is I had it ready to cast before you said it was an undead creature. And now knowing it's an undead creature, it's gonna take an additional 5d6 damage.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna roll 10d6 and then double it.
Nice.
Oh my
that's very true. You roll
God.
10d6 and double it. This
Oh
happened
my
to me in
God.
another game.
need more
not too long
D6?
ago.
We have D6s.
I got 2 right here.
I have
Eight,
4.
10.
I got.
She's got 10. She's got 10. Good.
All right. This might be the biggest roll of my life.
So far.
10-1.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Oh, there's some 6s in there.
Yeah, there's
a lot of
3s.
6s in there.
18,
Plus 2 is 20. Grab a 2 over there.
20, 29.
That's another 10 right there, isn't it?
This?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 39
39.
times 2.
Oh my gosh. What is this?
Well, wait. No, you 10. Oh no. Oh, yep.
What types of damage are you dealing?
So critical success, the target takes double cold damage as well as double good damage if fiend or undead. And it is technically cold damage, but it's silver damage for the purposes of weaknesses, resistances.
So you deal 78 points of damage to this creature.
Holy moly.
You delete this creature from existence.
We get it.
This is your critical. You tell me, yeah, what can it do? What happens?
So she just basically is gonna go save her friend, and she
Yeah.
just was like behind this one scary guy, and she was like, well, I have to go help them. So she's just like, ooh, pretty moonlight, because it's pretty. And it casts this like beautiful, sparkly, like iridescent haze in a beam right at this creature. And then this creature just explodes into beautiful moon dust.
Into beautiful moon dust.
Into beautiful, sparkly moon dust.
It bursts into sparkles, and that is
So this creature just literally, this creature just walked up and is next to Hawk and is like
Just
looking at Hawk, and I'm like prepping to fight two things. I'm like, oh, I'm in it now, and all of a sudden like I just glance at that one before taking a swing, and it just turns into moon.
it just it sparkles everywhere.
Eat the candy.
It's like a piñata.
And I only took that spell because of its name, Moonlight Ray.
Well, fantastic.
Sorry, Jim.
No, that's fine. You delete one of these creatures.
That was her second action?
expertly played.
No, that's all.
Oh, that's all.
I believe that would have been
That
the
was
third action.
2 actions.
So yeah, you just utterly crush this thing. It is completely gone. It is now the first creature that made its attacks. It is its actions, and it is just going to come in and try to kill Hawk.
Yep.
It just
Fair.
mindlessly is like it doesn't even though it's being surrounded, like it started with you and it just keeps coming at you.
You know what?
So it's going to try to batter you with a branch. But that is not a very good roll, and that is only a 15.
Nope.
So its first attack is just garbage, nothing.
Nothing.
It is going to try one more time.
Try it again.
Garbage.
Nope, with another garbage roll, even worse. So it is just clawing at you. But now that like the shock has worn off, maybe bolstered by the fact that you saw Moondust just blast a creature into oblivion, you're able to dodge expertly. This creature is coming at you, but it is completely unable to do anything. I'm going to throw one more attack, just crit fishing, but with a 19. I don't think that's going to get you either.
Nope.
So it is just
Close.
scrambling to get at you, almost completely heedless of everything that's going on around it. And it is Hawk's turn next.
All right. Well, I still have this guy who's attacking me, so I'm going to return the favor with my kukri in the box with the group hero point.
Yay!
Jared, can you hand him a hero point so I don't have to keep this one? Thank you. Well, that's an 8, but it's a 22.
22 is a hit.
Yay! And it's 4 damage.
All right, 4 points of damage. You hack a little bit more of this creature away. It's still up.
I will swing again.
Yep.
4 minus 4, 25.
25 is a hit.
All right. And that'll do 6 damage.
Yep, you're getting it. It is barely able to stand, but it is still standing.
One more swing. What is that? I don't think a 16 is going to
16
hit.
is not quite gonna do it.
Darn.
But that's all good. Still an excellent turn for Hawk. Flotsam, it's your turn. Now you know what this speed can do.
Yeah.
How do you
I'm
respond?
gonna still try and press my palm through its chest on fire. So
Well, do you wanna like take a step
No.
away from it?
no,
'Cause it
hit
can-
me, Jim.
I'm gonna
Hit me.
attack you again.
Hit me.
I'm gonna do it.
Hit me.
Okay.
Do it.
Here I come.
Do it.
So 31.
That is a crit.
Yes.
Try-
You know, he's the one that does the damage, right?
Yeah.
And you roll like 6.
I know, you're doing really bad.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
You're doing really bad.
Hawk does like 30 to 40.
Wait,
Because
He's
I'm
using
using
his
my
kukri
bow.
now.
I'm using
He's
my
up close.
kukri right now because we're up close.
You take 26 points of damage.
Sorry.
All right.
As it crits.
I don't get to roll 10d6 and then double it ever. Even with my best shot, I can't do that.
Well, I guess Moondust is better than all of us.
What is this?
Usually it's Hawk.
So it crushes you right in the face.
How many
And
points
what
does
do
it
you
take?
do with your third action of there?
My third action, I discern its weakness
Okay, yeah.
because I'm here.
You make a lore check, I believe.
Is it? Let's pull this up. I just wanted to use this glimpse vulnerability. Sorry.
Yes.
Select a creature until
Usually there's a knowledge check. So
There's nothing akin to this, like nothing tied to it. It's an esoteric,
Yeah.
but I don't have.
Just make a nature check. Okay. Just get through it. It's all good. Figure it out later.
Ignore that one. Well, I don't know poop about it. Actually, it's not bad. 12.
But yeah, you maybe it's just getting knocked in the noggin a little too hard. You are unable to concentrate enough to recall anything about this creature's weaknesses, which will take us to Killian Cray's turn. And he is going to come up to the door. He has to take 2 actions to move, and when he gets right up to Moondesk, Glitter, Violet, Sparkle Wishes, he's going to reach out and try to grab her. It's against your Fortitude DC, which is 10 plus what you add.
But
to
I'm
your Fortitude.
stealthing?
You blasted Moonlight. You're not hiding it anymore.
But he couldn't see through the door because I couldn't see through the door. He doesn't know who
We're trying to
blasted
grab you. That is a 19 against your Fortitude DC.
10
just
plus
a-
40.
10 plus whatever your
So
Fortitude
20.
modifier.
23.
23. Yeah, so you easily slip out of his grasp and tries to grab for you. Like, oh, damn you. Curse you.
Uh-oh.
But that is all he can do this round, so we move to Peepa's turn.
How bad does Flotsam look?
I don't know. Probably pretty bad.
Okay. I mean,
You're
if
up.
we were a different system and a different game and a different version,
A lot of bitterness
I would be
here.
bloodied. But just.
Jeez, Jared.
I could take that hit 2 more times.
What do you want to do, Peepa?
I'm gonna look at this creature. Go. Oh, you hit my friend. I'm gonna do telekinetic maneuver and try to make him prone.
Yeah,
Shut
trip
him
it.
down.
Okay.
Yeah, trip him.
Make your telekinetic maneuver roll.
Okay, here we go. Ooh, 12 plus 7.
Sorry, 19. That's a success. These things are not that. So you rip it to the ground with your mind.
Yes.
Do it.
And then with my last action, I'm gonna start singing.
Okay, everybody's gonna get a +1 to attacks and damage rolls.
Yay!
After Peepa, it is Moondesk, Glitter, Violet, Sparkle Witches.
How close is he to me?
We got right up next to you because he was like basically standing in the doorway. 'Cause he was
Then
gonna
I'm
reach out and
going to flutter away from him,
grab. Sure.
but I also don't want to flutter toward any of the scariness. So I still want to keep some distance.
Sure.
But just away. And then,
Which
do you want to explode into 1 billion pieces or just like 100 pieces?
you choose how many pieces you want me to explode. In.
Okay, well, I'm going to help my friends.
I love that.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 3 actions and heal my friends.
You're not going to use 3 actions because you use 1 action.
Oh shoot, I don't move. Dang it. Then I'll use
Use 2 actions and you could make this creature explode with your healing power.
shoot. Okay. Can I not move?
Yeah, you can stand there.
Great. I stand there. I'll
Okay.
take one for the team, and I want to heal everyone.
What's that?
I want to heal everyone.
You're going to first heal everyone. Okay.
Yes.
All right, yeah, that's going to catch everybody, and this undead creature needs to make a Fortitude save.
And that would be 3d8, right?
3d8 if you are heightened to 3rd level with this. If you're using a 3rd level slot with this spell, then yes. That is a failure.
That's going to be 14.
14 points of damage. The undead arboreal explodes or melts. Basically, it just like crumbles apart as this positive energy washes over it, and it is just an inert pile of goo and rotting wood and bark. You actually heal Killian Cray as well, who had taken some damage earlier. So he is actually a little bit better. But so are all of your friends. They all get 14 hit points back. And it is now Hawk's turn. These 2 creatures are dead. Killian Cray is the only one left in the room, and he is looking rather panicked. He is looking around. He sees these 2 creatures crumble to the ground. He sees you 4 standing between him and the only way out of this room. What do you do?
We wanted answers, so at least to start, Hawk has that special arrow. I'm gonna drop the kukri and fire you know what? I'm going to free action drop the kukri, hunt prey on him,
Okay.
and then I'm going to I'll take a I believe it's a hunter's aim,
Okay.
which will be the rest of my actions to get a +2 on the attack roll
Okay.
and ignore any conceal. That way I know I really want to just pin him down.
Yeah.
So plus
+1.
+1, +2 is +3, +15 is +18, so 32 to hit.
32
Ooh.
is a critical hit.
Ooh. Get him.
Kill him by accident. Kill him by accident.
Oh my god, please.
So I
Pocket.
had used an antler arrow, Jim.
Okay.
When an activated antler arrow hits a target, bone antlers extend to pin it down. The target must succeed. Oh, well, wait a second. Maybe we might have to alter this because I guess I have to activate it with an interact, which takes an action. So we could say I didn't take the hunter's aim and take 2 points away. I don't know if that changes the
It
critical.
wouldn't be a critical hit,
Okay.
but it would still be a hit.
So to make sure that I activated the item,
I get you.
because otherwise I just shot an arrow that
Yeah.
doesn't do what I wanted.
Just accidentally kill this guy.
Oops. So when the activated arrow hits the target, bone antlers extend to pin it down. The target must succeed a DC 16 reflex save or become stuck to the surface, taking a critical. It uses the critical specializations of a bow.
Okay. So roll damage because you're gonna hit him still. But then I
Still
will
hit
roll.
him.
What do I need to roll? Is there any? Am I rolling anything to avoid being pinned or no?
Yeah, you reflex save,
Reflex.
or you are pinned.
Gotcha.
But I still roll.
Fails on the reflex save.
What was that?
Fails on the reflex.
Fails. Okay. And then 12 plus 2 is 14 damage from the bow.
Okay.
And now he is pinned
Okay.
by these antlers that have sprouted out and just grabbed the ground and
that's
the wall and the door frame.
Now
So-
kill him.
No.
Well, I'm done with my turn.
So he gets pinned, and we'll say he actually gets like pinned backward. He actually gets pinned to the shelf that you were hiding behind. He sort of like stumbles backward. He's like pinned, and these antlers have wrapped around him and are digging into the wood. And he is struggling to get free, but it's pretty hopeless. And we'll come out of the encounter for a moment. What do you all want to do? Like he's standing there struggling at the door. You can actually see him. You're watching him struggle.
probably, like, right
Can't
next
get
to him.
anywhere. Yeah, you're like right there with him. You all sort of you approach him. You go up to him, and he's sitting there, and he's trying to get free. Then he just sort of stops and he slumps. He says, I knew that eventually it'd all come for me. So get it over with.
We don't want to hurt you. I was telling the truth. We just want to ask you some questions about the ghost mob.
What is Swiftwind's doing? What was that whole warehouse? Why is there a ghost mayor running around? And do they have any interest in supporting King Ronald?
Make a diplomacy check for me.
Can I stealth? I don't know if this is a thing in Pathfinder. Can I stealthily cast? Like if I zone a truth him, but I don't want him to see it happening.
Sure. Make a stealth check.
26. 5. Nope. Yeah, 25.
Yeah, sure. I mean, he's so focused on yeah. So what spell are you casting? Is it literally zone of
It's
truth?
literally zone of truth.
Okay, yeah. Is there a save against it or no?
Will save, yeah.
Will save.
22.
Okay. So there's this like so you sort of get into his mind and you take root in there and force out deceptions and lies. What did you get?
I rolled a 19 on the dice, so with my diplomacy, that's a 19.
19.
Wow.
He seems like momentarily confused by all this. He says, you're not Swiftwinds?
I mean, technically, and I'll like show him the badge.
Yeah.
We are heroic endeavors, but we, let's just say we are friends of the new king, who has recently had a bit of an opposition who wants to take the throne, and well, there's the whole ghost horse thing, and it seems like Swiftwinds has possibly oversteps its bounds. We just want answers.
Wait, the ghost horse?
You don't know about the ghost horse going through trees?
know about So, my child is still alive?
It's killing things and hurting things.
Wait, why would you call it your child?
There's a ghost horse now?
It's a ghost ma.
Mare. Okay.
Oh, you're saying mare! Like a female horse!
Yeah,
Oh!
we're back on the horses.
I get it now.
What do you mean by child?
I mean,
You made it?
of course I did. Isn't that what this is all about?
We like that building burned down, so we didn't get a lot of answers. We just like knew that it had like a tree, and it's still alive.
And it's terrorizing the whole town.
Well, good riddance to them.
Why would you say that?
What do I care?
Well, you should care.
Did you create it for Swiftwinds?
Yes, of course. You really all don't know anything, do you?
She gave me candy.
We were told to help.
As far as we knew, we were heroic endeavors, hired adventurers. Then we found out about your child, who's been running around for years, and the fact that heroic endeavors was brought in and possibly covered it up with some sort of owlbear story.
Well, then I guess you aren't 100% clueless, but what do you want from me?
Answers. What is Swiftwinds doing? Why are they creating these abominations? And are you still working for them?
And why'd you throw your name tag away?
They canceled my project. They wanted a cheap source of alicorn, something they could harvest over and over again, incredibly valuable on the black market. So they put me to work, and I did what they asked. But they weren't happy with the results. They thought it was monstrous what I'd created. So they shut my project down. Because it wasn't pretty enough for them, because if someone found out what my child looked like, what I had done, what I had created, that it would reduce the value of their brand. They didn't appreciate what I had done. So it is because they're simple and because they understand nothing but coins and the way coins flow.
Can we fix the unicorn?
Would you fix? The unicorn is perfect.
No, it's not. It's hurting people. And it's probably hurting itself.
Make a diplomacy check.
26.
26. Okay. He says, "Oh, why don't you release me? And I can show you what I've been working on. And you can see for yourself that nothing has been hurt. I mean, these are beautiful things I've created. Just because the rest of you don't see it doesn't mean there isn't. I can show you. I can show you."
I would like to do perception to see if he's trying to kill me.
Sure, go ahead and make a perception check.
30.
30. You can see that, like, he's not. You are definitely, like, creeped out by what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but he doesn't believe that you don't get, like, he's not trying to trick you or, like, harm you, but it's like, because he's so far off the deep end, like, he really thinks that, like, he can show you there's, like, but what he wants to show you is not something you want to see. That's what you're like, this is not good.
Yeah.
Can I make a leap from the undisclosed shipments to what he's been talking, kind of seeing that he's getting pieces of dead creatures and people sent to him?
Yeah.
Can I suss that out?
I mean, I would say that based on just like what you're seeing around, like the things that you've seen, it's very likely that the things that he was ordering are reagents and chemicals that are very uncommon to the region. He probably isn't getting pieces of the creatures. Okay. The creatures are probably things that he's like made contact with or found like on his own. But he's getting like reagents and chemicals and alchemical ingredients and stuff like that that wouldn't be common to the area. But as you are standing there and talking to him, and he's like, just let me go. Look, I can show you that my child isn't hurting anyone. It's certainly not hurting itself. Like, no, look, if you are here to get back at Swiftwinds or something, we can work together. We can, yes, I can help you do this. I have no love for them. I had agreed to disappear. And I assumed you were here on their behalf because they decided to tie up a loose end after so long. I assumed you were simple assassins, but I see that's not the case. You're curious. Let me satisfy that curiosity for you.
You know, I don't think I'm that curious.
I mean, can we sidebar for a brief moment?
Yeah, I said, Ajax, watch him. And the dog that's been here the whole time.
I forgot about the dog.
I just want to be like, we can't let him keep doing this stuff, right?
Well, my thing is, what is he doing that's going to hurt anyone here? He's been sent away. No one in this town, when we mentioned his name, said anything bad about him.
Well, where'd he get these tree monsters? Kept punching me in the face.
And also, his child, which clearly can hurt someone. What if he makes more scary creatures?
Look.
Do we keep watch on him or something?
I mean, we can. I don't know if that's going to solve anything.
As you were standing there, talking, each of you make a perception check.
Yeah.
That's good.
18.
16.
15.
27.
Yes, people.
13 plus 14, right? That's 27?
Yep. Yeah. Peepa, as
Yes.
they're talking about all this stuff, you are just sort of looking around, and it's very muffled, and it's coming from upstairs. But you hear this like shouting, and it sounds like several voices all at once, and you hear one very distinct word that says, "All right, clear out." And immediately after that, you all hear this tremendous explosion. And you feel the entire structure shake as if you're in an earthquake, and dust falls down. And you hear this collapsing, like the sound of collapsing rubble. And a like blast of flame comes from upstairs, like down the stairs, and you all have to like dive to the ground to avoid it. And there's this shower of dust and debris down from the ceiling. And you realize that if this place hadn't been built as sturdily as it had, like the whole thing certainly would have collapsed on you, killing all of you. But either way, when the dust clears and you are able to like look around and breathe in the dark, you look up and you realize that the whole upper story has collapsed onto the trapdoor, and you are stuck down here. And that is where we will end our story. For
What? No!
What about my horse bath thing?
I don't know about your horseback thing. I just know that it's time to be done.
We'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Tomorrow, I just need a nap and we can get out.
Oh no.
It'll be perfect.
And I'm sure you can teleport or something, right?
Obviously, everything will be fine. To all of you out there, thanks for coming and watching us play. Sorry we took a little bit of extra of your time. Hopefully it was entertaining enough that it was worth sticking around for. Well, Dev Fam, this is Betty Bye time. We're all gonna go home and go to sleep so that we can wake up refreshed and ready to play next Tuesday. We're gonna sleep the whole week, and then next Tuesday we're gonna wake up and we're gonna come back here at 6 p.m. on Paizo's Twitch channel, and we're gonna play some more Heroic Endeavors. But until then, I must bid you adieu. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for playing. I had a great time. I hope you all did too. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Good night, guys.